Interesting development. Good morning. Everybody ready to start? Okay, good morning and welcome to the May 9th, 2024 meeting of the Code Enforcement Board. I was going to welcome back Mr. Gonzalez, but he's not here, so we can't do that. Okay, may we have a roll call, Madam Secretary?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Mahegan?
Here.
Ms. Marsh? Here. Ms. Roby? Here. Mr. Harrington?
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez? Ms. Himes? Here. And Ms. Kindig?
Here. Do we need a motion to excuse Mr. Gonzalez, or did you hear from him?
Yes, he called me yesterday, said he was coming.
Okay, then we don't need a motion to excuse.
No, we should not excuse him.
Okay. All right. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes? Any additions or corrections? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Himes, second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Does anyone need to disclose any ex parte communication? Do we have announcements, Madam Secretary?
Yes, ma'am. Lien Review 1 to be via Zoom. Lien Review 2 via Zoom. That's on page 2.
Yep.
Lien 2 is Zoom. All right.
Tired of meetings.
Page 6.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Case number 14, CEB 052367, 339 South Martin Luther King Boulevard, compliance, May 8th,
Yay.
24. It's had
What date was that?
May 8th, 2024.
Okay.
Page 7. Case number 17, CEB 032443, 934 North Halifax, is in compliance as of May 8th, 2024. Same page, page 7. Case number 18, CEB 0324-44, 1906 North Halifax, will be via Zoom. Moving over to page 9. Case number 23, CEB 052471, 520 Poinsettia Road, via Zoom. Moving over to page 13. Case number 39, CEB 0424 58 526 Cannon Street via Zoom.
It's 30.
I hope these Zoom people are ready to go because
And those are my announcements.
30, what's this?
that was page 13, case 39.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
April 11th.
Can you get a packet?
Really? Do you have the right packet?
See, I have,
Everybody, I do.
But,
I
yeah.
have May.
I have,
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Put them all the same.
yes.
We'll get you one.
Oh,
Got one.
Chairman, maybe for announcements, would you remind everybody that there's a new procedure for registering?
Thank you.
Maybe they didn't see it.
Good.
The,
The form that we have to fill out,
yeah, it's
register.
it's possible.
What's it called? Why don't you just make an announcement?
Okay.
You got one?
We got one.
I received via email, and so did Ouija. I don't know how many of you did. It's from the Florida Commission on Ethics, and that form we fill out every year and send to the county. Evidently, we have to send it now to the state via email. So it came yesterday.
Yeah.
So you might want to look.
Yeah, look for it, because you can only do it by email now.
And
That's-
who's the email from?
The Florida Commission on Ethics. It has,
That's that we have to
Probably
fill
went to
out.
my spam.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, everybody,
What's that?
here's our procedures. Well, first of all, with code officers, please stand up and be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
All right, here's our procedures. We'll be calling cases by number and for the most part in order as they are listed on the agenda. There are any attorneys present and they need to be in court this morning at some point. We'll hear those cases first. If there are police officers that are going to testify that need to get back to work, we will hear those cases. When your case is called, please come forward and be sworn in. State your name and address for the record. If you are not the owner of the property, please state your relationship to the owner of the property. Our proceedings are all recorded, so please speak into the mic. The board hears from code officers first, and then you'll be given the opportunity to respond. Please direct all of your responses to the board. Don't talk to anybody else but the board. Witnesses, and if they're testifying, have to follow the same procedure as well. We have a very long agenda today. And if we need to, we'll take a 10-minute break at 11 o'clock. I would really appreciate it if everybody, so that you don't have to stay here until the afternoon to have your case heard, if we can stick to the facts of the case and not go off on tangents. If there's something the board wants to discuss that is not directly related to the facts of the case, we can put it on an agenda for another time. Yeah.
We're going to do lien reviews now.
Yeah, that is the first thing we're
I
doing.
was wondering if there's some reason that the record of the hearing is not included with either one of my things in my probably in yours, but it's not included in my packet.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mr. Harrington?
The record of the hearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask for review of I had both questions on both of those, that we didn't have a record of the hearing or of the original hearing, and so we have to go back and review the case. All right, we're going to start with lien review number 1, CB 07-20-135. Lien review, and that's by Zoom. Is the person ready on Zoom?
What, talk to Zoom?
Okay. Let the record reflect that Mr. Gonzalez is here.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
Madam Chair, y'all said you don't have the minutes from me.
Correct.
Right.
Because I have them after the very first page
Yeah, that's,
of the, after the request. I
It's
have,
not in my packet.
Not in my packet.
No, not mine either.
okay.
So that we're going to have a review of the case, so we'll have to ask those questions. What, because I don't know what the ruling was.
It's not in either lien review.
Anthony, isn't the relevant part not what happened during the hearing, but what's happened since the order was entered through today?
No, not, this is for a
Lien
lien,
review.
lien review, so this is gonna be a review of, now that it's in compliance,
Right.
looking at just what they've done, the whole history of the case to determine whether or not.
Right.
Since it's fully discretionary, to determine whether or not there will be
Right.
a reduction or how much of a reduction, if at all.
What I'm saying, what we don't know is what's happened since the order was issued.
Right.
Then today, when they came, how long did it take? Why did it take that long? Because all the other facts went into to the determination of you're in violation. This is your fine amount. This is how much time you have to come into compliance. Now we're saying, why didn't you come into compliance?
No, that's not what we're saying. We want to look at it.
I understand. but
That's it.
just saying where the
And we usually have that in, so
We have
that we can
always
look at it, and it helps us refresh our memory of the case as well. All right. Good morning on Zoom. Please state your name and address for the record. Can you hear me?
My name is Hector Ponce, Ponce.
Okay.
Current address is 298 Lake Markham Road, Sanford, Florida.
Okay. Please be sworn in.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to affirm or, do you solemnly swear to affirm or, jeez. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to hear from you, sir, first, why you think you should have a lien review. What's your hardship?
Yes, Your Honor. We have bought the property during COVID, somewhere around 2021. The property was distressed. It had in fact been condemned by the city of Daytona Beach, and they were having numerous arguments with the owners. The two
Who was having arguments with the owner?
the city.
Okay,
The city was trying to get them to comply and take care of this problem. And the owners were feuding with each other, is what we found out. Because when we went to closing, it was hard to get them both to come in and sign. But anyway, the property have been condemned because it was abandoned, as you can see, unmaintained. And up to those red steps that you see on screen, there had been an excavation done in the basement area to the extent that the house was about to
Okay.
to collapse. In the meantime, homeless folks and others were sleeping within the property, and the owners said to the city that they couldn't take care of the problem. The city was about to demolish the property to the tune of $50,000 something. They told us, and then we came in and we said we will buy it and either restore it or demolish it. And after during COVID, it was very difficult to get a contractor. So finally, working with the building department, we obtained our permits to demolish the property, to restore the land, fill the hole in the basement with the proper ground quality as instructed by the city. And now we have it as a vacant lot. In the meantime, we really never looked into, and we did not know that that lien, which was placed against the previous owners, was still against us because we are these new owners.
Your title company
the-
didn't find that out? You didn't find that out, that there was a lien on the property?
I do not remember that. But we also thought that since we were taking care of the problem, we actually thought there would be no lien, so we didn't follow it up. Fast forward to today, where we continue to maintain the property in compliance, the Department of Transportation has come to us and said that because of improvements required on that intersection, they want to acquire part of our land for, I believe it's traffic signs that are necessary. And we of course said yes, no problem. But they said that they tried with the city of Daytona Beach to clear the lien in order for this to go forward, but that they were told that no, the current owners have to come in and petition for a lien review from the commissioners and then take care of it through today's process.
Okay. All right. Mr. Klieg, good morning.
Good morning. Officer Clegg, my credentials are on file. He's 100% correct in what he's saying. Other than this case has been going on for 2 years, abandoned. We're requesting the lien be reduced to $1,000 administrative fee.
Do we need any discussion from the board? Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to reduce the amount of the lien to $1,000, subject to being paid within 30 days, or the fine will revert to the original amount. Such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Just you'll have to get in touch with the code board secretary to get the fine paid within 30 days, the $1,000, okay?
I'll send you the invoice.
Is that Brenda?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's Brenda.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Brenda will communicate with you then, and thank you very much for your support. And Tom, as usual, thank you very much for what you do.
You're very welcome.
Right. Now we'll move on to lien review number 2, CEB 03-23-44, 506 South Street. Is that person ready? We're getting them in the room now. Okay. Good morning.
Hi.
Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Yes, my name is Crystal Gordon, and the address is 506 South Street, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Where you live, or where?
My address
Yeah.
is 1511 Saconnet Court, Brandon, Florida, 33511.
Okay, thank you. Please be sworn
Will
in.
you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, what would you like to tell us about your hardship?
You know.
On this property, the owner, we're negotiating it on behalf of the owner, Elizabeth. Her father passed away, I believe it was September
22.
2022, yeah.
Mhm.
And when she found out that her father died, found out that the house was occupied by squatters. So she had to go through the eviction process and get them out. And as soon as they were out, we got the property cleaned up and put in compliance.
And how long did that take?
It looks like she found out he had passed away in October 2023. And then we went to go, take a look at the house, and that's when we figured out that it was occupied by squatters and started the eviction process. December 2023, and it was completed February of this year.
Okay. I didn't ask you what your relationship is to the owner of the property, and we just need to have that on record. Could you tell us that, please?
Yeah, the company that I work for is Southeast Property Acquisitions, and we are going to purchase this property from Elizabeth.
Okay. All right.
And I see in the record, apparently, she has power of attorney.
You have power of attorney for whom?
Yes.
For the Watrix? Elizabeth?
Yeah, it's for Elizabeth.
Okay,
Walker.
all right, okay. All right, good morning.
Morning.
What can you tell us about this case?
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file. This case was a complaint-driven case for no water and overgrown grass. The property was occupied by, as she said, was squatters. The first notice of the violation was posted on October 21st, 2022. A compliance date was due on October 31st, 2022, and re-inspections were done and found in noncompliance. All the notices were posted, and the owner was not present, or I had no contact with them, and it went to the code board for the hearing of finding a noncompliance. The staff recommended $100 a day, where the board issued a $200 a day fine, capped at $15,000. We're asking this to reduce the lien down to $1,500.
All right, so we noticed in October, when did you say everything got squared away, that it came into compliance? When was that?
February 24th.
Sometime in February. I don't have the exact date.
February 24?
Yeah, and the grass was taken care of right away. It was just a water issue. Of course, the squatters couldn't. They tried to turn on the water, but they couldn't. So it stayed on.
Okay. Do I have any comments from the board? All right. The chair will entertain a motion to reduce the amount of lien to $1,500, subject to being paid within 30 days, or the fine will revert to the original amount. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Harrington made the motion, and second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Takes care of that. Thank you. Make sure you get in touch with our board secretary, Brenda, and get that fine paid within 30 days.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to our continued cases. I want most of you to realize that you had an extra month because we didn't meet last month. So you had an extra month to do some work, so I hope you used it all pretty wisely. But we're going to we're going to go through these cases in order, and please just stick to the facts of the case. All right, we'll start with case number 1, CEB 03-24-47, Cheryl Sullivan. Doreen Sullivan and the rest of the Sullivans. 439 North Lincoln. Respondent present? Okay, Mr. Garcia, what can you tell us?
The respondent was first notified of all the violations on November 16, 2023. I had no contact. The property is not occupied, and there has been no progress. Staff's recommending a fine of $100 a day, capped at $15,000.
Just want to take a second to look at the pictures. So no one's living in there, it's unoccupied.
Well, there's people, they say they're not living there, but I've seen people in there, so I don't know. And every time I ask for the owner, they they're not available.
All right, can you, and nothing gets cleaned up?
Correct. Yeah, it's as you see it now.
What
That's
were
that's a
you
couple days
asking
ago.
for?
100 hours a day, capped at 15,000.
Doesn't seem like enough to me. I would vote for more. Does somebody want to make a motion?
I
To a-
move for the 100, 'cause,
You're ready, you're good with 100?
yeah,
You want to make that motion?
yeah.
Okay. We have a motion from Mrs. Himes to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continued until compliance is achieved or reaches the amount of 15,000. Is there a second to that? Okay, Ms. Roby's the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed? Nay. So, motion passes. All right, case number 2, CEB 01-24-02. Mr. Garcia, is the person here? No. Okay.
Yeah, she's right.
Oh, you are here. Good morning. Hello. Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Margaret Eberwine, 348 Jackson Avenue.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, we'll hear from Mr. Garcia first, and then I'll give you a chance to respond.
The respondent was first notified of the violations on September 13, 2023, and since the last hearing, I have had contact with the owner. Little progress has been made, and staff's recommending a fine of $100 a day, capped at 10,000.
What's been done?
Well, the front, she's taking care of the whole front. She did apply for a permit for the fence. They removed the old fence. They put up a new one, but one side of the new one has been partially removed, and she's taken out some. I've gained access to the back, where I found the back had a lot of outside storage, and she's removed some little by little, but she seems to be moving it around, and it tends to come out to the front, and then it leaves, and then she did have a dumpster at one time and put some stuff in the dumpster. I got pictures since yesterday. I pretty much, as a matter of fact, I did 2 re-inspections this week. So you'll see.
That's what that looks like now?
Keep going. She's got rid of those cabinets. Keep going. The front looks like this.
Okay.
She's cleaned up the fronts. The back, this is how the fence looks like now, and this is how it looks like pretty much now. She's got rid of those containers just recently.
Okay.
But these are pretty close to, I believe it's yesterday or the day before.
All right, Ms. Eberwine, what would you like to tell us?
I'm living with immense pain still, and I forget a lot. I don't hear clear sometimes, and I sometimes ask, you need to point to something, because I don't know which one you're talking about and everything.
What do you mean?
He
I
said,
don't
that's
understand.
got to go, that's got to go, well, all that's gone anyway, but there's just misunderstanding a lot. And I can move only so fast. I fall a lot because I try to hurry.
Do you have anyone that can help you?
I paid $3,500 a day to a crew to help me. They helped me order the dumpsters. I said, don't put the wood in the dumpsters. The city picks it up for free. And they said, no, they'll charge you. And I said, no, they said, they've picked stuff up across the street and for me before for free. And they loaded it all in the dumpsters, and they overcharged me both dumpsters too. And they charged me $2,000 just to put the fences up, and they cut
Do you have
all
anyone to help you?
the ones that I paid $3,500 a day. Was that you?
$3,500 a day?
$3,500 a day.
Yes.
Who do you pay that to?
a cut above. It's a
Are
company.
you sure I just want to make sure, you're saying $3,500 per day?
Correct.
And what do they do?
Well, I said I need all the cans out of the pool, and they put cans, bottles, plastic, broken glass, and everything in those bags. I had to go through every one to just get rid of them. I couldn't put them out for the trash. They'd get cut up trying to pick the bags up. Things like that.
You have a contract with them that spells that out.
Well, they took my credit card number. That was the
Yeah,
contract,
I'd be
verbal.
happy to take it too, but do you have a contract
Verbal,
with them?
yes,
You do it
verbal.
verbal?
I know.
I can't believe that you're
And
paying
after the
somebody
fact-
$3,500 a day to do your
After the fact, I should have been able to stop and think. It hurts to think, but I could have gotten daycare for $100 a day apiece.
Okay,
You know, but it's long gone. I owe 14 some odd $1,000 or more, you know?
On what?
All these charges for all the days they messed up
All
and
right.
took my stuff.
You know, I wish that we can't give you advice on what to do. We're
I
not,
just needed time to stop and think. I hurt so much. I messed up my bank account. That's deplorable to me.
we need,
I had surgery.
I heard that.
I had surgery. I couldn't do anything I didn't do anything for about 3 days, and then I got busy and started doing stuff anyway, but slowly and carefully,
Do you have any family that lives close by?
not here.
Where are
Everybody I know works or are debilitated.
All right, we're going to stick to the facts of the case.
I'm 80 years old. Everybody I know is dead or
Okay,
debilitated.
okay, I'm sorry for all of your problems.
Yeah. I mean, I moved
We
as
as a
fast I
board
could.
cannot solve your problems. I don't know what help you can get, and we can't recommend it, but
These pictures with the concrete stuff and everything, I was going to build more wall around and
how long have you
landscape.
lived there?
Since March 9, 81.
What do you want to do with this?
I'm gonna call
If
it
we go-
question.
If we go by the facts, then we have to fine. If you want to do something else, I don't know what.
We'll make a motion,
Well,
I
it-
can't make a motion, I don't know what we can do.
continue.
Well, you could make a motion, find her in violation.
Would you like to testify, Captain Lee?
Yeah.
That's really the question, how much time do you want to give her to
Right,
comply before the
yeah.
thing starts?
Cap,
Oh, good, Lee gonna help.
Or is there an alternative way?
the alternative is we give her more time
Right.
to the fine.
Okay.
That's it. Captain,
Lee gonna help us.
would you like to testify in this case?
I would like to speak on behalf, but I need to be sworn in first.
Okay.
Scott Lee,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes, I do. I'm a real estate agent, previously a captain, that's why she was referring to me as a captain. And I'm just attempting to assist her here as well. All I'm asking for is I see what's going on, and I can see the concern on you guys' face. I can see and listen to what she's saying. I don't have any answers for you right now. I wish I did, but what I'm going to ask for is for 30 days to be able to work with her and try to figure out some answers for you, and hopefully help her out. If there's some kind of fraud that was occurring to her, we'll make sure that we get that to the right people and see if we can help her out and get some progress going.
That sounds pretty reasonable to me. You've got somebody there that's willing to help you, so. All right, any more comments from the board?
Just have one comment.
Go ahead.
The permit that she pulled for
Yeah.
the fence,
fence,
she
yeah.
needs to get it finalized. She
Okay,
has not got that finalized yet.
okay.
So,
The permit, I can explain it to you afterwards, it's the permit. needs-
And the city's okay if we want to amend to the next cutoff to give them
yes.
more
All right.
time to
I
get
make
this
a motion
corrected.
to give this case 30 more days.
Okay,
Second.
all right, we have a motion from Ms. Roby and a second from Ms. Himes to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow the respondent until June 5th to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. So there you go. You have somebody to work with you, so,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Mm-hmm. All right, case number 3, CEB 03-24-41. Travis Thomas, Maxie Thomas. Other Thomases. And Mr. Wilson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
My name is Travis Thomas. My residence is 219 North Adams Street.
You are Travis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Travis, you can point that mic.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, there you go. Be sworn. That'll work.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Garcia, what can you tell us?
The respondent was first notified in violations on November 6, 2023, and since the last hearing, I have had contact with Mr. Thomas Travis here. The only progress made was the grass cutting, removed some outside storage and some trash and debris. The address numbers are posted, installed in front of the front door. The after-fact building permit has not been applied for closing in the garage, and they need to make some repairs to the bottom of that door if they decide on keeping it. And the overhang over the front door has not been corrected yet. But since that time, his uncle had passed away, so he's been struggling to get permits and whatnot. Staff's recommending a fine of $100 a day, capped at $10,000.
What would you like to tell us, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am. So just recently, in the beginning of April, my uncle passed. So I was tasked with the responsibility of taking on the funeral services. So I spent a lot of time doing that because I have no help. He was the last surviving person, relative in my family, as far as with my brother. And so I really took on the responsibility of doing the funeral services by myself. It took a lot of resources and time that I wanted to put towards getting a permit because, as you can see, I did work on the property. I have got the rest of the violations up to par except the pulling the permit for the garage door and the overhang on the porch. But I have been in contact with Mr. Garcia, and I've been in contact with the contractor, Mr. Travis Limbacher with GSD Constructions. We have been in contact. I guess he was trying to get in contact with Mr. Garcia. It took him maybe a few days or so. And so right now I'm at the point of pulling the permits because I tried to do it myself. I was having problems getting on the website. I made a profile. It was just, when I went to type in the type of permit I wanted to pull, I put porch and it wasn't anything coming up. So I was kind of having a problem with that. So I figured I would use somebody professional to help me get the rest of the code violations up to par.
So you are working on this?
Yes, ma'am, diligently. I am very much so working on it. And I have been in contact with Mr. Limbacher, like I said, with GSD Constructions. He's supposed to send his repair foreman out either, if not today, for sure tomorrow. I've been in contact with him, and the last two things on the list would be pulling the permit for the porch and the garage door, and that's the last two things I have to do, which he would be taking care of. But like I said, the most of my time from last month was spent. I had spent over $3,000 with funeral services by myself, so I had to save the money back up.
Tell me, who are these other people? Who is Maxie Thomas?
Okay, Maxie Thomas was the man on the old photo who was sitting on the porch. That's my uncle. He passed recently. He was on the old photo.
Is he the one that passed?
Yes.
Yes, he was on the old photo right there. He was the one when the house was in the back and she's right here.
And who is Fernicia?
Fernicia is a distant cousin. She really never had anything to do with our house. She never lived there. We were going through a probate issue, and these are the last surviving relatives of my grandmother. So she was my uncle's daughter, but she has nothing to do with the house. She always lived at a different residence my whole life. Philip Wilson is my brother. He's lived at the residence, but he's kind of younger, so it's like, it's not of importance to him as much as it is to me to get this done.
Well,
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
just to assist a little, the property appraisal report is showing them all as tenants in common with different percentage of ownership interest.
Yes.
They all appear to be indicated as owners of the property.
okay.
Yes, and I'm the
Okay,
only one.
So you're all owners and the
We're all
probate's
owners.
done and all that.
But I've been the only one
But
trying
you're the
to-
only one that's
Yes, ma'am.
actively working. on it.
Actively been getting in contact with Mr. Garcia, been doing work on the property
Mm-hmm.
since the beginning, and actually been the only one paying for the probate case that we had to do to get the property.
But the
in our name.
probate, is the probate finished?
Yes, the probate is finished, yes.
Okay.
But it's just been a lot going on with the property. But I am diligently trying to get it up to par because this is my grandmother's house. I have a lot of sentiment invested in the house, and so I just want to. I definitely want to get it up to par. I don't want to look in that kind of way. Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
are there any comments from the board? The chair will entertain a motion to amend, in my opinion, I'd like to give him a little more time. He seems to be working hard and be fairly sincere, so I would like to give him a little more time.
60 days, so moved.
Second.
All right. So Mr. Harrington made a motion and Mr. Gonzalez seconded a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 3rd to come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for the consideration of a fine of up to $1,000
Yes,
per
ma'am.
day.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Stay
Thank
in
you, sir.
touch with Mr.
Yeah, please
Garcia.
stay in touch with me.
Yes, sir. I have.
Yeah, he has.
I haven't. I
So,
will.
yeah, all that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 4, CEB 03-24-42, Brian Miranda. Mr. Miranda here? All right, Mr. Garcia, what would you like to tell us?
The respondent was first notified of all the violations on October 20th, 2023. I have had contact with the owner. The property is occupied. There is progress. We're asking to amend to the June cutoff. They had a rental inspection, and the rental inspection failed, but they have a new scheduled inspection to be made on May 13th. So that's what we're waiting on. But basically, they're taking care of the parking issues and grass and everything else.
Okay?
Notice we're getting rental again.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have them for a long time. Is there been a change in philosophy, or why are we getting so many rental?
I
We've
can
always
speak to
had
that.
rental properties.
The code inspector, if he goes out and finds code violations, and included in the code violations is it's a rental property,
Right.
then it stays with the code inspector for the whole property to come into compliance. We still have to wait for the rental inspection, which once that comes into compliance and they pass that, then the inspector can put the case into compliance. So hopefully this one won't be back for you, but that's the reason you will see some rental or RTLs show up.
And if I could as well, and we still have a separate rental docket, but as
Right.
you said, there has been somewhat of a change in the practice in the sense that everything's not going there. The ones that are associated with code violations are coming to the code board.
Okay. Any other comments? Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until June 5th to come into compliance to be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day.
So
Such a
moved.
motion.
So moved.
Mr. Gonzalez made the motion. Second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
Nay.
Motion carries. Case number 5, thank you. Case number 5, CEB 0324-39. Shakisha Berry, Kenneth Crawford, Felicia Crawford Tillman.
Oh, they're not here.
Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
The respondent was first notified of all the violations on October 20th, 2023. There has been no contact. The property is not occupied, and there has been no progress. Staff's recommending a fine of $250 a day, capped at $15,000.
Anybody live on the property?
No, there's been,
Okay.
every once in a while, a squatter will come by, but
Yeah.
no, for the most part, no.
Okay with that. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $250 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $15,000.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, another one, Mr. Garcia. Case number 6, CEB 03-24-51, Kafilat Payden. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. Is that person here? No. Okay. They came one time.
Yeah, I thought she would have been here, but the respondent was first notified of all the violations on November 15, 2023. I have had contact with her. I actually spoke to her yesterday. The property is not occupied, and all the progress, everything has been done except for they had a rental inspection due. The rental inspection failed because of a couple of issues inside they were working on. But in that process, she had the water turned off. And then when she was making the repairs, the city turned the water on and they flooded through 3 of the rooms. So I do have an email, or so there was something stating that it was the city's fault. So they're asking to amend to July cutoff to give them time to make, the city's making repairs.
Okay.
Amend to July, Danny?
Yes.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 3rd to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Was that, I'm sorry, was that Ms. Himes or Mr. Gonzalez? Second.
I thought it was Ms. Himes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good morning, Ms. Kirk.
Good morning.
Case number 7, CEB 04-20-84, Larry Sanders. Mr. Sanders here? Okay.
Okay.
Ahead.
Thank you. Sarah Kirk, inspector with the city. My credentials are on file. Mr. Sanders was first notified August 16th of 2019. Mr. Sanders has been on the city's waiting list since August 10th of 2020. Staff is asking to amend till the August cutoff for compliance.
Which particular waiting list?
Okay, so he is on the city's rehab list. He's been on it since August 10th of 2020. So, and I spoke with Ms. Tolliver in housing, and she confirmed it, that he is still on the list.
Madam Chair, I recommend that we accept the city's offer.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Himes and a second from Mr. Gonzalez to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 3rd. Now, were we doing 2 or 3 months? But before I did, what?
Did you say August?
I did, August.
Oh, August, so it is 3 months. What?
731.
What is it?
731.
7/31, okay. I'll start over again. We have a motion and a second to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 31 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
No,
All right. Motion passes. I'm looking for my, yeah. Oh, I'll find it. All right, wait 1 second. All right. So, I don't know why I don't have the date. Here they are. Okay. All right, let's move on. Sorry about that. I just confused myself. That would be case number 7. So we'll move on to case number 8.
Okay.
CEB 09-22-204, Bonnie Boudreau Keating. Anyone present?
Yes.
Okay, come on up. Yeah, fine. Good morning. State your name and address for the record.
Bonnie Keating, 606 South Lanville Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Kirk, what can you tell us about this case?
Okay. Ms. Keating was first notified on March 28th of 2022. If you remember, there was a vacation of the right-of-way that went before the commission.
Right.
It was voted on. That's this case. The owner is still working with the permit department on the accessory structures in her backyard. I just got updated late yesterday from the permitting department. So with that, I'd like to ask to amend to the next cutoff for compliance.
What was the update?
We need to go over the details. There's different structures in the backyard. Some are permitted, some are existing non-conforming. So we need to figure out which ones that are not permitted or approved have to be removed, if any. So I just need to meet with Ms. Keating and go over this with her.
Yeah, we really didn't have time because I've been on it, so wasn't she, and
Okay. All right.
the
so
city was
we're-
kind of,
you're working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
is that going to require a different hearing for each structure?
I don't believe so.
You just need to
They're all going to
determine.
be done at one time.
but some of the structures were, which she's been out there to see, were removed.
Is going to be done by the permitting when you come here, all at one time? On each structure, or are we going to keep coming back?
Well, some are permitted, but it doesn't show that it's permitted. They can't see that far back to show that it was permitted.
Right, some are permitted, so I just need to get with
It's-
her, so that's why I'd like to
they were-
ask the men to, so we can get it straightened out.
Okay,
Because it was 1992.
yeah, well, 2092's coming up.
You won't
course.
find any records that far back.
That's,
Yeah.
but I brought forth some information for them that I was able to dig up.
Question, weren't these the same issues back in March of '22?
So what was happening is before this issue came, I was already working to have that right-of-way removed for a year. It really has taken me 3 years, which I did do.
Right.
For 80 of the homes of my neighborhood, we received that land. Because basically, everybody thought that was our land. Because before I was born, there was a fence put all on the back across. Before I moved there, before I was born, it was there. and everybody's kind of just
It was the
done their neighborly thing
yeah.
and repaired them, and it's never considered anybody's.
Right.
But
But she has gone through all the proper channels and she's been working on it since they were all, there was more than one person involved in this whole.
yeah, there was, it was a lot.
It was a mess.
I hired a few attorneys, getting nowhere.
Right.
You're gonna need 60 days?
Well, I'm not sure. I think we're gonna have to meet and
Right.
yeah, but we really just received the information yesterday.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to give him the 60 days just to get it trying and cleared up. And
All right.
So
All right. Ms. Roby's made a motion and we have a second from Mrs. Himes to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 3rd to come into compliance. Hmm?
the 31st, right?
No,
No,
that's
the
the
third.
third, right. Come into compliance.
July 3rd.
Or be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Hopefully we'll have it all squared away and you won't have to come back.
We're just learning.
Okay.
We're just.
All right, case number 9, CEB 11-22-249, Charlene Rollins. Is that another one of these?
That was actually put into compliance yesterday.
Oh,
So
good.
5/8/24.
Oh, good. So we don't need to hear that. All right. Because there weren't the questions about, I'm assuming because there weren't the questions about which accessory structures had to be.
Exactly, it was just
Okay.
one shedding
All right.
question.
Okay, case number 10, CEB 07-21-223, Tracy Smith at 605 Willie Drive. Ms. Smith available? Okay.
Okay, Ms. Smith was first notified on August 4th of 2020. She has been on the waiting list with the city since June 17th of 2019. Staff would like to ask to amend till the August cutoff for compliance.
What do we know about the case? About where they are? Has it been approved? Everything's been approved?
I verified that she's on the waiting list. She's on the master rehab waiting list, plumbing, HVAC, doors, windows, and siding. So she is, she's been on it since before I actually opened the case.
Ms. Kirk?
Yes, ma'am.
But isn't the roof fixed? Her roof is?
Yep, the roof was taken care of already.
Do we want to give her till the July cutoff?
She said.
I mean, August cutoff?
August, because if she's on the list.
I mean, do they make it? Well, I'm not going to ask that question now. We're
they
going to
do.
wait till the end of the meeting because
Wait
that's
till
not
next-
about this case in particular. Okay.
Madam Chair, I motion that we accept the city's offer on this case.
Second.
All right. We have a motion from Ms. Himes, a second from Mr. Gonzalez to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 31st to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
No.
Okay, motion carries. Case number 11, CEB 01-24-09, BAT Development at 712 Park Drive and 714 Park Drive. Anyone here for the case? Okay.
Okay, the owner was first notified May 4th of 2023. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with Mr. Hudson. There has been progress. The permit for the fence was finalized on April. He is currently working with Inspector Wexelberg in the rental department on a rental license. So I'd like to staff would like to recommend to amend to the next hearing for cutoff, or next cutoff for compliance, excuse me.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 3rd to come into compliance. Oh, wait a minute. I guess it would be June 5th. We've been giving everybody extra time. June 5th to come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Whoa, who was that?
That was the three of us.
Okay.
You can
But-
take this.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez made the motion. Second? Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion
Question,
carried.
am I to assume that all of these violations of the rental have renters in, or not all of them
Oh,
do, or
well-
want to rent? Because somewhere along the line, if we have a rental policy, there seems to be a lot of people that don't know about it.
Wait, now,
I mean, does that go on forever and ever and ever?
Well, the city is continually working through the process. We have our rental department that is looking for any units that are being rented without permits. Some go way back to where they've been, the city's been renewing BTs, business tax, even though they were supposed to have a rental license. That department is aggressively going to correct those, and when it's found with other code violations, as in this case, they applied for the rental license, they've already had an inspection, so they're following the process, but we do have quite a few rental properties in the city that the rental department is actively working with.
I'm in favor of rentals, we need more rentals, but it just, whatever, I know you're not
Yeah.
supposed to speed, I think most people do, and the ones that get caught don't like it, but, you know, that doesn't seem to be the case with rental licenses, it's, just ignore everything.
All right, we can have that discussion at another time. We can put it on the agenda. What do we want to do with this case?
Let's put it on the agenda.
You want to put it on the agenda for next time? Talk about rental licenses, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And please make note of that, Ms. Everett.
I make a motion to accept the city's recommendation to amend to the June 5th meeting.
second.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Roby, a second from Ms. Marsh to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until June 5th to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Only one, I have just a question. Is this, so this, nobody's living there now? It's vacant? Sorry, I should ask.
I don't know the current status. I know when I first got the case, I did see a tenant on site. So I don't know
Okay.
if currently there's someone in there or not. but-
Thank you. All right, case number 12. CEB 02-24-35, Kelvin Lee, Anthony Williams at 524 Landville. Anyone here? Further? Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Kirk.
Okay, thank you. Okay, property owners were first notified July 19th of 2022. Since the last hearing, the garage door has been completed. The permit was also reinstated. So the permit is now reissued and work is again underway. So I'd like to ask to amend to the next cutoff for compliance.
Now, which one is
All right, Chair will any comments? Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until June 5th to come into compliance to be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Marsh, second.
Second.
The second, Ms. Roby, I think. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, case number 13, CEB 02-24-36, Carrie Morgan at 645 McCormick Street. Okay,
Okay. Owner was first notified on May 3rd of 2023. I have had contact with the owner. Unfortunately, there's been no progress. Staff would like to ask for a $100 a day fine to a max of $10,000.
so that person lives there?
No, nobody lives there.
No, it's vacant.
Yeah.
So why isn't it up to 15?
Well, maybe it should be. I just
Yeah,
thought
I
because
think
the
it
last
probably should
owner
be if
was
no one
home,
lives there.
owner occupied was the last owner.
Yeah, we historically, Madam Chair, relied upon whatever it's used.
Okay, correct.
It's last use.
Okay,
So if it was being owner occupied, our last information.
okay.
we relied upon.
And I read something in the notes about the confidential status. What is that about? Review it for me, please,
Confidential status?
of either. Was there anything that was confidential in this case?
Yeah.
Of course, we probably would not want to necessarily talk about it.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Not to my knowledge, there wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're asking for a fine.
I do have one more question.
Go ahead.
The property records show that she still lives at that address? Even if it's vacant?
No, the updated Volusia County property appraiser shows a different address.
And she's been notified at that address?
Yes, she has, and I've spoken with her.
I'll make the motion to impose a fine of $100 a day.
So move. I mean, second.
Can I see the pictures again, please, before we make motions? There's a damaged roof, blighted vacant structure. I don't think $100 a day is, in my opinion, I would vote against that.
I would make
I
a
don't think
motion
it's
to
enough.
make a friendly amendment.
Go ahead.
My motion would be that we move it to $200 a day.
I'll amend mine.
Okay, so we have an amended motion to raise the fine to $200 per day, effective today, and continue until compliance is achieved, and we have a second on that amended motion from Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, case number 13 is in compliance.
14.
Oh, case number 14 is in compliance. Case number 15, CEB 11-23-133, Drusilla White. Ms. White here? All right. Good morning, Mr. Stinson.
Good morning.
What can you tell us?
Oakley dokley. 1 second. Alrighty. This respondent was first notified on the 28th of July of 2023. They were cited for junk vehicles and damaged roof. Since then, I have been in regular contact with this property owner. The last conversation I had with this property owner, the reason she gave me why nothing was accomplished was that the entire family was down with COVID. And this was on April 9th of '24. Since then, there has been no progress, no contact, no action taken. City is asking for the imposition of a fine of $200 per day to be capped at $10,000.
Any comments? Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $200 per day against the respondent A and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $10,000. Such a motion. Motion, Ms. Himes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 16, CEB 03-24-40, Luther Bradley at 613 Butler Avenue. Yeah. That person here? No. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson.
In this case, since the last hearing, this respondent was first notified by the violations on the property on 19 December of 2023. I'm sorry. Wrong case. Just looked down at the wrong case. They were first notified on 7 October 2023. They were cited for damaged fencing, inoperable windows, missing screens, damaged walking surface, and lack of a rental license on the property. Since the last hearing, there's been no contact whatsoever with the property owner. I have been in contact with the tenant on a regular basis. There has been nothing done. City is asking for the imposition of a fine of $100 per day to be capped at $15,000.
Nothing's been done. That's
Nothing.
okay. I'm in favor of raising that to a whole lot more. Yeah. I'm saying at least 250. Maybe I'd go up to. Can we go up to 500?
It's just gonna get there faster.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
I'll make the motion to go 250 a day.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Roby and a second from Mr. Gonzalez to impose a fine of $250 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $15,000. All right, case 17. Oh, we have to vote. That would be nice. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay, case number 17 is in compliance. Case number 18 is by Zoom. My Zoomer ready? There we go. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Name is Rasham Mahadio. Address is 1906 North Halifax Avenue, Daytona.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony about providing the truth? Sorry.
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear? Sorry about that. Do you solemnly swear to affirm or? Sorry.
Start over.
Sorry.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to hear from Mr. Stenson first, and I'll give you an opportunity, sir, to respond.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Stenson.
Since the last hearing, I have been in contact with this property owner one time, performed a re-inspection on the property. He attended that particular re-inspection via Zoom as well. He had one of his workers on property for the re-inspection. The only difference or change that has been done is that the unpermitted AC unit has been removed. These other violations still remain, and he was directed not to rent the property until all the property was brought into compliance. Unfortunately, this property is still being held out for rent, and the city is asking for the imposition of a fine of $200 per day to be capped at $15,000.
How much did you ask for, John?
$200 a day.
I'll make the motion.
Well, wait a minute, he hasn't
Yeah, can I-
tested. You can testify, but you have a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Everything has been repaired. When Mr. Stetson
Well,
came in the
what,
property.
no, I don't think that's what the testimony we heard was from the city. What do you mean, everything has been repaired? Have they been out and inspected it and said that it's in
Yes.
compliance?
Yes, the two things we found.
Everything? Wait a minute.
No, except, let me finish, please.
Okay.
So everything except the electrical in the garage and the roof repair. But everything else has been repaired. The plumbing has been repaired. Let me just go through the list.
Go ahead.
The AC has been removed. The exterior walls has been closed in. The inoperable windows have been all exercised and lubricated, and they're working. All the missing screens were replaced. The front door has been repaired. The roof is one thing we're waiting on a permit. The interior doors, closets have been put in, and Ms. Stetson witnessed those. The plumbing fixture has been replaced. No heat. That was not a fact. The heat was working fine. I had someone tested the heat. The appliances have been replaced. The washer and dryer have been replaced. Receptacle cover, there was one missing in the garage. That has been replaced. Smoke alarms have been installed everywhere in the house. There's two things that's being waited on right now, a permit for the roof and a permit for the electrical work and the plumbing work. Both have been submitted. So that testimony is not accurate, ma'am.
Okay, just hold on, we're going to go through this. The other thing is, I wanted you to comment on was, you're still holding it out for rent. What?
I had that listing out. I haven't admitted anyone or allowed anyone there. The property is still vacant right now. I've just had the ad out there, and I'll let everyone know that, it's waiting on these permits. And just to let you folks know, the delay on this is because of the permits. The permits have been dragged out for almost 2 months now.
Why?
And
What was the reason given to you?
They keep having questions and want it amended, and every time I've hired Kona Construction at large expense, and every time they go to submit the permit, they're coming back with changes to the permit and questions, and I have to resubmit it. Every time it's being resubmitted, I lose a week.
All right, Mr. Stenson, could you respond to all those things that he said were fixed? Have they been put into compliance?
I would like to know your last.
He has not,
I have pictures, and I can
My
provide them.
Now we'll let Mr.
Sorry,
Stenson
go ahead.
testify.
my last inspection on the property was on March 26, 2024. At that time, the AC unit had been removed. Closet doors were not installed as of yet. The damage was still there to the exterior wall. He's already admitted that there's still no permits. I haven't had the opportunity to see the front door being repaired. I haven't had the opportunity to see plumbing fixtures replaced. I have not had the opportunity to see the heat in a working status.
So is that because, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is that because he hasn't called you to ask you to come look at these things?
That's correct. That's correct. I haven't had a re-inspection since March, so if he has fixed these things, we have to be able to see them first.
That's right, they have, the only
Can I-
person, the only person that can put you into compliance is this Mr. Stenson in the city. No one else can do that. Because you say it's done does not necessarily put you into compliance. It doesn't put you into compliance. You must,
Can I
you must
Can I
get
s-
put into compliance by a code officer.
Can I
Now,
say
have
something,
you
please?
applied for the permits?
Yes, ma'am. All the
Do
permits
we
have been
have a
applied.
record
All
of
of them are
application of
applied.
permits?
Yes.
Permits have been applied. They have been kicked back more than twice for corrections, and they stated right there on the response to the permit that corrections are required. So They notified the owner that needs.
Basically, he doesn't have the permits.
Right.
Right.
That's correct, that's correct.
And he doesn't have a rental license.
That's the delay,
That's
sir.
also correct.
That's the delay. I mean, it's not delayed upon me. And one of the pictures that Mr. Stenson showed shows that the faucet was replaced. He showed a picture just now of a faucet, and that faucet has been replaced. It's brand new in Mr. Stetson's picture.
Have you made an appointment with Mr. Stenson to go over and put some of these things into compliance?
I did, and I thought he saw everything was in compliance. I thought he saw everything. The only two things Mr. Stetson mentioned after when he visited, and I was on Zoom, and I also have a witness there who was holding the phone. He's my real estate agent. The only two things Mr. Stetson said that were not in compliance or were remaining was the electrical and the water for the washer and dryer, and also the roof. Those are the only two things, and I have a witness. My real estate agent was there
How long
holding the
have you
phone.
owned the property, sir?
Just 2 years, ma'am.
So you still have two things regardless of all the other stuff, you still have two things, so you're.
Yes,
still
yes, sir, and those are waiting in the permits.
So you're still not
They're
in
not,
compliance.
yeah, those are waiting in the permits. It's not because of my delays back and forth with getting the permit approved. I've hired a construction company. The construction company is handling the permit, and they submitted several times. Thousands of dollars cost to me. I'm not ignoring this in any way, shape, and form. I've done everything on the list except, and I have pictures. I can get the pictures there to you. Everything on the list.
When was the last
things.
time you talked to Mr. Stenson?
The Rick at Kona Construction has been in contact with him, and he talked to him about the about what's remaining and everything. And he also met with the permitting company after construction company has talked to Mr. Stetson. I didn't want to be in the mix, so the construction company was engaged with Mr.
On
Stetson.
the property. Yeah.
Okay, but it can be re-inspected again today to show that all of these
Well,
things
it
have been
can be,
remediated.
but you need to ask Mr. Stenson to do that.
I did, ma'am. I did.
Mr. Stenson, when was the last time you were contacted by Mr. Mahadko,
I have not spoken with this property owner since the last reinspection,
which was in March?
March 26th. Easiest way to do this is to call my office later on. Leave a
I can do
message.
that, sir.
Leave a message. We can set up an appointment for a reinspection. Until that happens, can't confirm or deny what he's saying right now.
Does anyone,
I just need more time, that's all.
yeah,
I'm asking.
we know. Does anyone want to make have any questions or comments for either Mr.
I was
Stenson or
gonna
Mr.
say, is there a way that we could impose the fine if Mr. Stenson goes out in the next week?
It's too messy that way, I think. I guess we could, but
Well, you can make a finding of violation, and then you can decide how much time to correct.
Right.
Before a fine starts.
Right.
And you could actually start the fine to run the day after the next code board hearing. And just say, look, all right, we're gonna find you in violation, and we're gonna
He's
say.
already been
fine.
found.
He's already been found in violation? Okay, so so you are just continuing to extend times to compliance before a fine runs? Is what's been going on? Okay.
Well,
Question for both
Go ahead.
Mr. Stenson and the gentleman in the Zoom.
Yes, sir.
How long is it gonna take for you guys to get together and do this?
I can contact Mr. Sesson today, right after the hearings. I can send him an email. I can call him. I mean, however need be, whatever communication he prefers.
And so how long will it take, Mr. Stetson, for you guys to go out there and,
All we need is a short conversation, set up the appointment, and I can go out.
okay. All right, so,
I wonder why that hasn't been done already. And
I
he
did
still
have,
needs permits. So, those aren't, but I'm wondering why you haven't done that already.
I did do that, ma'am. That's what I thought. I thought he saw everything was repaired, and the only two things he called out was the washer and dryer, the electric in the washer and dryer, and an outlet cover was missing in the garage, and he asked about the permits to the plumbing and the roof. And I applied for the permit several times. It's been, like he said, it's been kicked back, and it's getting delayed. It's not because of my lack of attention on this at all.
I have a question for the city. So if a permit is kicked back, that means someone went out there and inspected it, and he basically failed the inspection. Is that what that means?
No, not necessarily. When they apply for the permit downstairs, they have a certain criteria of things they need to supply for the permit, surveys and other things like that. If some of those things are missing, they're kicked back for corrections. And I'm guessing.
Yeah,
this is
that
probably
comes
what
from
like
permits
that.
and licensing.
Madam
Yes,
Chairman,
ma'am.
can we make a decision? here?
Go ahead. I'd be delighted to call the,
I mean, he can always apply for a lien review, so I'll make a motion that we take the city's recommendation of $200 a day.
So moved.
all right, well, Ms. Roby's made a motion. You want to make a second?
I did.
Okay. Second, Ms. Himes. The motion is to impose a fine of $200 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches the maximum of $15,000. We need a vote on this. All
Yeah,
in
I
favor,
mean-
say aye.
Aye.
I mean, if I've repaired,
Like sign opposed? Motion carries. I'm
Yeah, if
sorry,
I've-
sir, we're going to fine you. We've been dealing with this, that we've decided the case.
okay, well, I'll have to appeal it because these
that'll
things
be
were
fine.
repaired.
You can-
These things have been repaired.
That
It's
is
gonna
your
get-
right. We
It's gonna get
understand
appealed.
that.
I'm
We
just letting you know.
understand that's your right.
It'll
Thank
be
you.
legally appealed.
What?
It'll be legally appealed because this is not fair.
Well,
All these
okay,
things were
the
repaired.
case is finished. You are
Okay.
within your legal rights to appeal anything you like. Thank you. All right, moving on. Case number 19, CEB 03-24-45. Yvonne, Simon, and Gary Holt. Okay. So nobody's here today. All right, Mr. Stenson, what can you tell us?
This respondent was first notified on January 2nd, 2024. This was a complaint-driven case for outside storage, a damaged fencing, lack of pool maintenance, and damaged pool enclosure. There have been multiple re-inspections and conversations, the last one being yesterday afternoon. As of yesterday afternoon, this property remains to be in non-compliance for all cited violations. City is asking for the imposition of a fine of $100 per day to be capped at $10,000. And
Now,
the pictures do reflect exactly what it looks like.
I have in my notes that we gave him 10 days to get that pool fixed, covered up and made safe. Did that happen?
No, he attempted to. He installed some, for lack of a better term, some chicken wire around the pool enclosure. I photographed it, brought it back to the supervisors. For confirmation, they confirmed that this was not adequate as a safety precaution, and I'll be moving forward with this case. And
All right. Well, and what's your recommendation? $100 a day? I also want, Mr. Holt was here last time when the case was, and this was 2 months ago, so he's had some time, extra time. And his wife evidently has pre-dementia, and he has an 11-year-old son that lives there. So this is why, if I want you to recall, this is why we imposed the 10-day to get the pool cleaned up and secured, actually. is what the word I want to use.
So you said it was turned over to the state? Did I hear that correctly?
No, sir.
Oh, in other words, nothing's been done for the violation.
Right, the violation is, he attempted to correct that violation, that one particular violation.
What do we do when somebody violates the 10-day? Who authorizes some action?
Now, I mean,
They violated a 10-day
right, they certainly
order
did.
for health and safety.
Right.
Who's supposed to enforce that?
Well, can we ask the city to go in and secure the pool, since it's a health and safety violation?
Couple of things here, Madam
Okay.
Chair, and Mr. Harrington. As far as your order itself, the enforcement of your order, and this is from my perspective, you can talk to your counsel as well. But as far as the enforcement of your order, the enforcement of your order is under your authority in terms of imposing a fine is what the order was. The order was to do it within 10 days or a fine will be imposed. As far as any additional actions, those going to be handled or would be handled if there are some by the city, it would be outside and beyond those that would be under your jurisdiction. However, you can authorize the city to go in and do whatever, and to the extent that the city's able and lawfully able to go in and take actions, they'll be able to go.
Right, so we can authorize the city to do that,
Right.
okay. We can impose a fine for not doing it, and we can authorize the city to correct the health and safety problem.
I'm looking to your counsel.
Okay.
No, I agree with Tony
Okay.
on that. I mean, the law does give you the authority to issue orders having the effect of law to correct violations. It's in the statute. But typically, you know, if it's going to be expending money to go do something, the city needs to go through their processes and make sure it's legal. So
Right.
this is a due process hearing. You can give the authorization for the city to go forward,
Right.
but there's other avenues they have. The only other comment I would have is if you issue an order saying, do something in 10 days or whatever the number of days is, you could go from that point and say, if it's not done, a fine starts running on day 11, and not wait for it to come back
Yeah.
to this body a month or two later with no fine. The fine could have started running on day 11.
Okay.
And started accumulating.
Well,
And we can't reach back if that's.
right,
what you
that's,
so
that's
based
true.
on
We
the
can't go back, but that's good advice for the future. The other thing is that this is a health and safety issue. We're, you know, that just would be the only reason we would ask to authorize the city to go into it. With an 11-year-old son and a wife with pre-dementia, and the pool's not secure, and it's in a neighborhood that has children, and so.
But then wasn't there all these other violations?
And yeah, never mind the other violations.
All that stuff that's
Right.
out there?
Right.
So, I mean, he's in plain violation.
Right,
And
absolutely.
you gave him
The
10
health and
days.
Safety issue is there regardless of whether we
Correct.
knew about who lived there or not. It's
Right.
a violation to any intruder.
Right, that's right, that's right.
Can we
Okay.
put a motion
All right.
to authorize?
All right, so and what is your recommendation for a fine?
$100 per day to be capped at 10,000.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion for the $100 per day plus authority to the city.
To secure the pool.
Secure the pool.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Ms. Himes and a second from Mr. Gonzalez. The fine would be $100 a day, and we're authorizing the city to secure the pool.
And I think the way y'all have said it in the past is to take any action necessary or that you're able, that within the ability or necessity to secure the pool. And
Okay.
we'll look at everything that we're
Okay.
able to do and whatever process that we have
Okay.
and see what we can do.
Okay.
I believe the yard is a fenced yard, I believe, is that correct?
It is correct.
That what?
That there is that's, what is it, 3-foot fence that look like?
It's, there's a 4-foot chain link in the back, and he's got
So
picket
there is a
fence in front.
around the yard. So So it's not that it's open, completely open to the, to intrusion. There is a perimeter fence on the yard. It's just not anything specifically protecting the pool under the circumstances that you've described.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Where do we become remiss if we don't handle it absolutely right?
What?
What I'm saying is, if we don't handle it absolutely right, something happens out there,
Mhm.
a lot of us are looking at, well, you guys should have handled this a different way. And I'm just looking for, if we can get some advice on that for our own protection, as well as any of the kids in the neighborhood.
Well, his
And
wife have
our-
pre-dementia.
Our inspector.
If
Because he hasn't done it when he was
Right.
given it before, so he's in violation. And we're asking, John to go out and take a look at it again and then make sure it's secure, is what I heard.
Right.
How do you do that? I'm not sure how the city would go about doing that.
Asked the first place.
Well, first, that's why what the motion is to authorize the city to go forward and take the necessary legal steps to secure the property. They gotta go through that. It could be going to another board, it could be going to court. They need to make that decision. In terms of if your request is, if somebody got hurt on that property, could they turn around and sue this board individually for liability? I think y'all are protected by sovereign immunity for what we're doing here, so.
Well, that's, okay. And I understand that question. I still would like to get this pool.
I have another.
Oh, go ahead.
question. Can we fine him the amount, like $10,000 for not fixing the pool in the 10 days, plus a
You mean-
$200 fine a day for,
I don't think so. I don't know. Do we know the answer to that? I think we just have to make it one fine up to $10,000, because then it goes over. These aren't separate cases. If they were separate cases, we might be able to do that. We could impose fines. But I don't think that we can
is there,
go over the $10,000 limit.
Well, one, I've seen cases where you can fine each violation within a case. So you don't have to say 100 for all of them. You could say $100 per day for each
there you go.
one. You could do that. The $10,000 cap is a policy of the city. That is not a legal cap. The state law does not cap
That's
you on what
true.
that is. So
That-
that's a
that's
decision,
the
a
city.
policy that was
Right.
adopted by the city.
That is correct.
the second question is, since she is pre-dementia and there is a child living in there, can the city contact Families and Children's Services because it is in such disarray?
Boy, I think you're getting way
I
out
know,
of.
Yeah.
but, I mean, this is.
That is something the city
Right.
could consider. I mean, I know with other cities I represent, when we have code cases and we have situations that are dangerous, we have situations where people can't really remedy the violation. We reach out to all the services in the community, churches, everything, to try to find someone to help them get the violation corrected. Ultimately, all this body can do is say, are you not in violation, and a fine. That's really all we can do, and you can authorize staff, hey, go further, let's try to secure this property, but you've done your job. Now it's on city to see if they can go further and do more protection.
All right, so I'd like to call the question, and everybody ready to do that, but Mrs. Himes made the motion, right?
Right, and I
She's not
second
here
it.
right this
A
second.
motion has been made and seconded.
And seconded, and can I have,
You repeat the motion?
yes, please, Ms. Seabright, can we have a read back of the motion?
What I have is, Ms. Himes made a motion to authorize the city to take necessary actions to secure the pool. And then Mr. Gonzalez had
I think there was
seconded.
$100
Well,
a day too.
yeah, she also added the
And it was
$100 fine.
$100 a day.
Oh, yes, sir, it was, yes, ma'am, it was $100.
And there was a second to that?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Gonzalez, there's Ms. Himes.
Okay.
back.
Made a second. So we'll have to vote on this motion now. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Stinson's still up with the new cases. All right, now, I just want to explain something with new cases to all of you. We are not here to fine you today. This is your first appearance. We are only here in order to see whether you're in compliance or you're not in compliance. If we find you not in compliance, you will not get fined today. We will give you a certain amount of time, we will vote on it, to give you a certain amount of time to come into compliance. And then you'll come back or not. I mean, if you come into compliance and you call your code officer in the meantime, then you won't have to come back. But if you don't get things into compliance within the amount of time that we give you, then you will have to come back here. And at that point, we can impose a fine. But all we're looking to do with these new cases is see whether the board agrees that you're in compliance or non-compliance. That's it. So we'll start with case number 20, CEB 04-24-66, Deborah Ann Nifong. Is someone here? No. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson.
Okay, this is a field-generated case. They were cited for damaged fencing, damaged roof, and outside storage, and being an unlicensed rental property. The property was posted on 9 November 2023. Compliance was due by 10 December 2023. The last site visit to this property was yesterday. The property remains in non-compliance. Asking for an order of non-compliance and compliance by the next.
No one's here, so moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Harrington and a second from Ms. Himes to find respondent in non-compliance and or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 a day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 21, CEB 05-24-72, George T. Caffrey. Mr. Caffrey here? He is. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I'm not Your Honor, but that's okay.
Morning, morning.
You have no honor?
All right. Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
George Caffrey, 125 Beau Rivage Drive, Ormond Beach, 32176.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Stenson, and we'll give you a couple minutes to respond, because we're just here today, as I said. You're either in compliance or you're not in compliance. It's that simple.
Yes, this is a complaint-driven case. It was reported for unsafe, it's cited for unsafe conditions, damage to exterior wall, damage to stairs, damaged handrails, broken windows, missing screens, exterior doors, damaged roof, interior surfaces, walking surfaces, missing interior doors, infestation, damaged appliances, exposed wiring, damaged electrical equipment, no smoke detectors, and being an unlicensed rental property. This property suffered fire damage, and that's just a collection of all the things I just ran off.
Let me ask you a question. So the property is not being rented right now. Was it rented before when the fire occurred, or?
The property was occupied when the fire occurred.
Okay.
My last inspection on the property was yesterday, and the front property, which is the property in question, was vacant, and the last occupant is not there.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Caffrey. What would you like to tell us? It doesn't seem like it's corrected yet. The violations have been corrected.
I'm sorry, but I did mention that he does have permit. Contractors are actively working on the project.
So there are people working on it?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Would you like to know what I've been doing, or?
No, it's not necessary now. We know it's not all corrected. It's good to hear that you have people working on it. When was the fire?
I believe it was the end of December.
Okay. Okay.
And these are from yesterday.
Okay. So you're actively working on it.
But it's
How
a
much
lot.
time do you think you will need to?
Well, to be honest with you, I've got a lot done,
Yeah, we can see that.
but right now I'm running out of money, and God hasn't shown up with a bag of it, so I'm applying for a loan and to finish what we got done. I do have a contractor working with Inspector Stenson. They had a battle plan of what we should do. We've been complying with what he said. He gave us the, I would say the best suggestion, rather than rebuilt, we demoed the back where it was burnt and removed everything.
Well.
Where there was smoke damage inside a bedroom, he probably saw the contractor's helper putting up all new sheetrock on walls and ceiling. There's been 2 new hurricane windows installed where they were broken and burned out. There's been a new door installed. Whatever wiring there was, the electrician came out and closed it off. It's no longer there. Let's see. The pad was set for the back of the house, and the landing was built for the steps for you to come out the back door. And I got a 30-yard dumpster sitting out there that's full. That's about to be taken away tomorrow.
Okay, so you're
And-
working on it.
Oh, constantly, believe me.
Okay. Let me ask you one more question. Was your rental property licensed when you had people in there?
Oh, yes, Inspector Cliff, I always get his last name wrong.
Reckon-zone, yeah.
Recanzoni, that's it.
Right.
He came out and licensed me and passed me
Okay.
in the summer, and everything was fine until the fire
Yeah,
hit.
I know.
Let's give him 60 days and
I
come
agree.
back.
And then come back and tell us where you are. As long as you're working diligently on this.
Yes,
we're happy.
ma'am.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to come into compliance by July 3rd to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. Such a motion? Motion, Mr. Harrington, second? Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. That just means you come back here in 2 months. And, I mean, maybe you'll be done, maybe you won't, but as long as you're really making the effort to move forward.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I just was wondering if, like I
Not-
said, I'm at the mercy of the bank
Yeah.
now and all.
Yeah, so that when you come back the next time, we can either give you more time,
Okay.
and we tend to, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
But as long as you're working on it, it's better.
I appreciate that.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Inspector.
Okay. Case number 22. Oh. CB 05-24-82, John Nicholson at 413 and 413 and a half North Grandview. Mr. Nicholson is present. Good morning, Mr. Nicholson.
Good morning. And yes, I'm non-compliance.
Okay, whatever. Okay, be sworn, state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
John Nicholson.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth? Sorry.
The whole
I
truth?
have my light on. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you just want to admit you're not in compliance?
Right.
You need a month to come into compliance? That's
Yes.
fine with me. Fine with everybody else?
Yeah.
Chair will entertain a motion to find, is that okay with the city? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance, let a respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Himes, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Okay, good luck. Now, case number 23, and note for the record, Mr. Harrington isn't here, so we'll do this case. We still have a quorum, so we can do this case. This is case 23, CB 05-24-71, George Gary and Heidi Robinson by Zoom. Are the Zoomers here? I can't hear you back there.
Tap 3 times in a row.
Okay, so we're going to say that they're not here, because they're not. Okay.
All right, Inspector Curtis Wiggins.
Good morning, Mr. Wiggins.
Good morning. You ready?
I am.
All right, Inspector Curtis Wiggins, Code Compliance Credentials on file. This case was opened September 25th, 2023, a field-generated case for work without permit, interior renovation. First notice received was December 5th, 2023. The compliance was due by January 4th, 2024. Last date of reinspection was April 29th, 2024. The result of the reinspection was non-compliance, and staff recommends non-compliance with compliance next cutoff.
Okay. Have you had contact with these people at all?
Yes, actually, he called this morning
Uh-huh.
about the Zoom. I don't know if he was able to get on or
Okay.
not. But
Okay.
all that stuff that you see there was corrected, except the permit for the interior renovation.
Okay, but still not done yet, so.
Yes.
And you want to give them till next cutoff?
Yes.
All right, the chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, June 5th,
So moved.
or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 today. Ms. Himes made motion, is there a second?
What?
Who? Ms. Marsh, all in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, we'll move to case, thank you, move to case number 24, CEB 04-24-62, Michael and Kathleen Zarenko at 816 Iron Horse Drive. Respondents here?
Bless you.
Go ahead, Mr. Clegg.
Okay, this case is a complaint-driven case, opened up December 4th of 2023. I've been working with, me and Sergeant Blowers have been working with the owner. He's going to get this, he's in compliance with dirt and grime, but the junk vehicle should be towed out of his property by the end of this week.
Okay.
So the city's recommending non-compliance, compliance next cutoff.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr.
So moved.
Gonzalez, second, Ms. Himes, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 25, CEB 04-24-67, Carrie Strauss at 778 Pelican Bay.
Okay, this is a complaint-driven case again. It was issued a violation February 29th of 2024. I've been talking to the owner. He's requesting, he's going to be doing the work himself. He's requesting to the July cutoff for failure to maintain the fence and failure to maintain the wood structures on this roof right there.
Are there permits needed for these
Yes, ma'am.
things?
Yep.
He's going to need a little bit of time.
Right. He's
Although it's already June and he was notified in February,
Right.
what, does Do they live there?
It's just one single male that lives by himself. He's about 70 years old, so
Okay.
he's insisting to do the work himself. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So,
So if we can get to the July cutoff for compliance.
because he's going to need permits for what?
For, to repair or replace those wood beams right there on his roof.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know how far his fence is gonna be, but it's at least, right now, he doesn't need for the repair of the 25-foot section right there.
Okay.
But he goes back towards his pool.
And what about the roof? Is that going to need
Yes,
a permit as well?
most likely, yes.
All right, does he's going to apply for the permit?
He said he
Well, all right, what's everybody's discussion about this?
I move that we accept the city's recommendation.
Okay. All right, Ms. Himes has made a motion to find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, well, no, by the July cutoff date, 7/3, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there a second to that? Second, Ms. Marsh, all in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Would you all like to take a 10-minute break? We can power through that, or we can do a 10-minute break.
That'd be great.
10-minute break?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to, I'm sorry, Mr. Klieg, let's just hear you one more case so
Okay,
you can leave.
please.
Okay? We'll hear one more case and then we'll take a break. Case number 26, CB 04-24-70, Clarice Spagnuolo.
This is a complaint-driven case, opened up September 14th of 2023. It's in compliance except for a rental license that they had applied for on May 6th of this month. And it's supposed to be a rental license completed by next week.
Okay.
Non-compliance, the next cutoff, please.
All right, Chair will entertain motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, to be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Second? Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay, we'll have a 10-minute break. We will resume at 11:05.
You heard about our celebration?
we're going to start with case number 27. And that's Mr. Butler. CEB 04-24-63, Linda Carol Jones and Connell Charles Jones? Connell?
Connell.
Connell, sorry, 2 N's. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Inspector Roosevelt Butler, credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As it pertains to 1036 Cedar Highland, this is a field-generated case. I conducted a site inspection on October the 23rd, 2023, where it was determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage, damaged doors, dilapidated roof, fascia and soffit, unsanitary living conditions, and damaged walls, peeling, and paint. A first notice was received on January 31st, 2024. On March the 1st, 2024, the violations was to be in compliance. Last date of my reinspection was April 29th, 2024. Result of my reinspection was non-compliance. I've had contact with the property owner. Staff requests finding of non-compliance, compliance next cutoff.
Is the property occupied?
No, ma'am.
Move for non-compliance, 30 days.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Harrington and a second from Mr. Gonzalez to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, and we return to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 28, CEB 04-24-64.
As it pertains to 1409
Wait a
3rd,
minute, let me get, I have to get some of these, so it would be Yarrow, Esau, Morales, Santos, and Delicia Mirabel Lara. Best I can do, at 1409 3rd Street. Okay, go ahead.
yes, ma'am. As it pertains to 1409 3rd Street, this is a field-generated case. I conducted a site inspection on November the 2nd, 2023, where it was determined the property had the following violations: work without a permit, putting in a driveway. First notice was received on January the 31st, 2024. On March the 1st, 2024, the violations was to be in compliance. Last day of my reinspection was May 6, 2024. Result of my reinspection was non-compliance. I've had contact with the property owner. At this time, a permit has been pulled, but it has not been finalized. Okay, staff requests a final non-compliance, compliance next cutoff.
Move for non-compliance, next cutoff.
Second.
You go, guys. All right, so that was Mr. Harrington that made a motion. Who made the second?
Mr.
Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, and we return to, which is June 5th, and we return to the board for consideration of fines up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 29, CEB 05-24-73, Brianna Nicole Johnson.
Okay. As it pertains to 1344 Cedar Bluff, this was a citizen complaint case. I conducted a site inspection on February 19th, 2024, where it was determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage and dilapidated fencing. A first notice was received on March the 5th, 2024. On March 15th, 2024, the violation was to be in compliance. The last date of reinspection was May 6, 2024. Result of my reinspection was non-compliance. But just to let you know, everything has been completed with the exception, I have a picture, there's 2 posts that's left from part of the fence, and she should get that done before the next 30 days.
Good.
Staff requests a final of non-compliance, compliance next.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th.
So moved.
Or be returned to the board for consideration fine of up to $1,000 a day. Mr. Gonzalez, motion.
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 30, CEB 05-24-74, Christine Ziegler at 821 Pinewood.
As pertains to 821 Pinewood Street, this is a field-generated case. I conducted a site inspection on November the 7th, 2023, where it was determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage, parking, dilapidated fencing, and no house numbers. A first notice was received on December the 2nd, 2023. On January the 2nd, 2024, the violation was to be in compliance. Last date of my reinspection was May 6, 2024. Result of my reinspection was non-compliance. I've had contact with the property owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance, compliance, next cutoff.
Has anything been done?
Yes, ma'am. Move along with the pictures. And as you can see, the boat is now gone. The house numbers are on the house. That truck will be moved. He's going to get rid of all of that, the rubbish and debris over to the right, which is the broken up bricks. So he's working towards
Okay,
compliance.
good. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Hunt, second, Ms. Marshall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 31, CEB 05-24-88, Michelle Hall at 1305 3rd Street.
Okay. As it pertains to 1305 3rd Street, this is a citizen complaint case. I conducted a site inspection on March 26, 2024, where it was determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage, overgrown landscaping. A first notice was received on March 27, 2024. On April the 10th, 2024, the violation was to be in compliance. Last date of my reinspection was May 6, 2024. Result of my reinspection was non-compliant.
This is the way it looks?
That's the way it looked as of May 6, 2024. I've had contact with the mother of the owner, and staff requests a finding of non-compliance, compliance, next cutoff. So the owners were out of town for the last couple of weeks due to death in the family. But yes, as of on May 6th, that's the way it looked. But according to the mother, that they would get on it and get things taken care of. So that's where we are.
Okay.
Mother Chair, I motion that we accept the city's recommendation.
All right, Ms. Himes has made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez. The motion is to find respondent non-compliance and respondent committed compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, and be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 32, thank you, Mr. Butler. Okay, back to Ms. Kirk. Case number 32, CEB 04-24-54, Christopher Miller, Brittany Lee at 227 Landville. Are they here? Anyone here? No, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. This is a complaint generated case that I received on April 17th of 2023 for violations of outside storage, vehicles in the yard, inoperable vehicles, and trash and debris. First notification was 9/30 of 23. Compliance was due November 15th of 23. I re-inspected the property today, May 9th. It's a lot of progress, but it's still in non-compliance. Staff is recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance by the next cutoff.
Did you say you had contact with them?
I did have contact, yes.
Madam Chair, I would say motion to find respondent non-compliance or come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 33, 04-24-68, BMS Holding, LLC. Anyone here? Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a field-generated case that I opened on November 1st of 23 for unsanitary conditions, unsecured vacant structure, trash and debris, and address numbers or inadequate address numbers.
The rental property,
Well, it's vacant. It's a vacant.
all vacant.
Yes. Well, it's supposed to be vacant, but
Are there people living there?
there's a, squatter type situation. I don't know about squatter, but there's people going in and out of the property. First notification.
Is there a notice up that says no trespassing?
Yes, there's a lot of issues going on with this property, but it is posted as no trespassing. It
What's
has,
unsanitary?
there's all kind of unsanitary items laying around the property.
Just at the trash around the
Right, trash,
property, all
debris, yeah, and, there's broken glass now.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Several times I've heard about squatters.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get reported to the police, or what happens with it? It's just, we leave it alone?
I know there has been a police presence at the property, at this particular property.
But do they get removed, is my question.
I would assume so. I don't know the answer to that. but-
As far as I know, the process is that the owner of the property has to, first of all, post the property, and then they can go to court, which sometimes can take a long time.
Well, there's a new state law that talks about.
What?
There's a new state law that says that squatters can be removed.
I don't know, but, I
Ask
don't
the
know
lawyer.
what
We
that
can't
law
do
is. Do you
that.
know
We
what that
can't.
law is?
Yeah, it's supposed to take effect July 1st.
What is it?
Okay.
There's supposed to be a accelerated process that involves the sheriff's department, not the
Oh,
city
the
police.
sheriff,
Not the
right.
city, okay.
But you file owner or owner's representative files an affidavit with the sheriff,
Right.
and then the sheriff can go out.
Okay, good.
And I think that takes effect July 1st.
Good, that'll be helpful, but everything that's happened in the past was not under that.
Right, I
Uh,
understand
Madam
that.
Chair, I motion that we accept.
All right, I think Mr. Sergeant Flowers would like to say something. You want to say something? That's fine.
Me and a group of officers do go around and check all these properties and try and hold the owners and get these people removed from the properties.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
they'll have another tool in their
Yeah.
book to do that
Right.
after July 1st. And
Mhm.
previous to that, that didn't exist. It
I
was
know,
a very
yeah.
difficult process and often took several attempts if the owner of the property did everything correctly.
Mm-hmm.
If they went to court and they didn't do things correctly, they'd have to go back to court and start all over again. So
That's
that's
fine.
why some of these
Yeah.
things that took a long time, take a long time.
Right, I just
So
wanted to know
hopefully
what
this
the
will help.
process,
Yeah.
what their process was.
Yeah, okay.
Second, Mrs.
For 30
Hines' motion.
days.
All right, now, we have a motion from whom?
Mrs. Hines, I'm
Ms. Hines,
seconding.
and a second from Mr. Harrington to find the respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration or fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 34, CEB 04-24-69, Mary Frances Bakley. Okay, Ms. Kirk, go ahead.
Okay, this is a complaint-generated case that was initiated by Animal Control back in February of '22 for outside storage, trash and debris, dirt and grime, parking in the yard. There was a property owner change. That's why this is, so I had to recite the new owner. That's why it's 22. But so first notification to the new owner was January 3rd of '24. Compliance was due February 3rd of '24. I visited the property yesterday, May 8th, '24, spoke with the owner's daughter. There's been progress, but the property is still in noncompliance. Staff's recommending a finding of noncompliance with compliance by the next cutoff.
I'm just gonna ask this question, why was animal control called in?
Um,
Or were they called in, or did they were just the ones that reported it?
They were the ones that put in the complaint.
So that means they were at the property.
Yeah, and they noticed code violations.
Non-compliance, 30 days.
All right, Mr. Harrington made a motion, second. Who? Ms. Roby.
Ms. Roby.
The motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, to be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, next case, 35, CEB 04-24-55, Oregon LLC.
Okay, this
Anyone
is,
representing Oregon LLC?
Who's all these other people on there?
Okay.
okay, thank you. This is a complaint-generated case that I received June 9th of 2023 for no rental license, boat in the driveway, which has been removed, damaged and defective interior surfaces, missing insect screens, loose flooring, missing smoke detectors, missing and defective doors, infestation, defective plumbing, no heat, broken loose electrical outlets and fixtures, and an interior door closed off without permit. First notification was January 17th of 24. Compliance was due February 17th of 24. I re-inspected the exterior yesterday, May 8th. Property is still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Is it vacant, sir?
No, it is rented. It's occupied.
It's rented?
Yes.
They have a rental license?
No.
What's your recommendation?
Next cutoff. Non-compliance, next cutoff.
Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved. So
Second.
moved.
Was that Mr.
Second.
Gonzalez?
That's Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 36, CEB 05-24-83, Romella INT Corporation at 1144 Australia Avenue. Good to see you here. Sir, what is your name?
My name's Cecil Moore. I'm the contractor.
And do you have permission to speak for the owner?
No, the owner's here.
Oh, are you going to testify as well, sir?
Yeah.
What is your name?
Robert Vargas.
Last name, sir?
Vargas.
Vargas.
V-A-R-G-A-S.
Thank you.
Okay.
Will you-
Please be sworn in. State your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
You.
1144 Australia Avenue.
Okay, if you're going to be testifying, Mr. Moore, you have to be sworn in too.
Yes.
State your name and address for the record.
Cecil Moore, 65 Woodbourne Lane, Ormond Beach, Florida.
Will you both raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to hear from
Madam
Ms.
Chair, if I could just get
Go
some
ahead.
clarification still, this is what Romella INT Corp.?
Yeah, that's a corporation.
Okay, you're the owner, what's your role with them?
Huh?
I say, what's your role with them?
With them, I'm the representative. I do the, hire the people.
Oh, you're not the owner, you're
No, I'm not the
you're a
owner, I'm
representative, but both of you have permission to
Yes.
speak for the corporation,
Correct.
is that
Correct,
right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kirk, what can you tell us?
Okay. This is a complaint-generated case that was received, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have that, in 2023.
Okay.
There was a new owner, in August of 2023. This is when the Romella took over. But the complaint was no windows, no doors, no roof, damaged porch, and expired demo permit, and then the other permits have been were canceled, roof permit, electric, AC, plumbing, the unsecured structure. First notification, the new owner was February 22nd of 24. Compliance was due March 23rd of 24. I visited the site yesterday, May 8th, 24, is still in non-compliance. I have spoken with the contractor. lately, and we came together with a solution to recommend a finding of noncompliance, but with compliance due in 60 days. So the June cutoff,
July cutoff,
July cutoff, okay, July cutoff,
7/3.
okay.
They have permits.
Where is the Romella INT Corporation located? What is the address of that?
1421 Alabama Avenue.
Where?
1421 Alabama Avenue,
In,
Daytona Beach, Holly Hill.
oh, in Holly Hill?
Yes, Holly Hill.
Yeah.
Are the permits in effect?
Well, the permits were returned for corrections. Mr. Moore could explain a little bit better as to what's going on with the permit situation, but that's why I was asking for 60 days. I believe in 60 days, the permits will be issued and work will be underway, and then at that point, they could come back in and give you a more accurate date of when the project will be
So
complete.
he's not allowed to do any work until those permits are.
Right, that's correct.
So there's nothing here that he could do that is not,
They have cleaned up, they've removed a lot of the debris and, not all of it, but they've removed a lot of it, the
yeah,
debris.
that could
and-
be worked on before you come back.
And they did cut they have been maintaining the yard. But
That
there
can
is
be
debris.
worked on before you come back, okay. Well, what would you like to tell us? You've applied for the permits were returned because you needed to do something else to make them effective.
We applied for the permits. I got the permits for the roof and the building, and we started to order the material for the roof when the plans examiner called me in and said, the project is in condition by the city of Daytona. They condemned the property. So we had to get everything back together again and submit again for the permits. And I asked Ron, I said, now, if I submit them before the new codes come out, do I go by the old codes or new codes? He said, the old codes. So we submit them before the new codes come out. The new codes come out, and now he's changed that. I got to submit everything by the new codes. So that's what the problem is. We're trying to get everything updated.
What new codes, are there new codes that we're using?
There's new building codes.
Yeah, I'm sure he's talking about.
They do update the codes every, usually 2 to 3 years, and
They just updated?
I don't have that information.
January the 1st, they updated them.
Who does what?
January the 1st, the state updated the codes.
The state updated the code.
State building code, yes.
By the city?
Manager, those are the building codes, and so.
Yeah, we don't have
Plans and,
Yeah, that's handled through the state.
Yeah.
The state updates the codes every 2 or 3 years. And so what's happened is because he's applying or reapplying, they're now asking him to bring it up to whatever the new codes are. That's not managed by our building department, that is the Florida State Department of Regulations that updates those codes, so.
Right, they update the codes, but then we have to update our codes, is that right?
No.
Oh, yes, because we're following whatever the state codes are.
Yeah.
So that's why he's referring to the plans examiner, who's now telling him he needs to
Okay,
And I do have
make some
confirmation.
revisions.
we have confirmation.
I do have from the plans examiner's notes.
Okay, so it's not in compliance yet, you're still working on permits, but hopefully you'll get there. We'll give you the, a couple months to get that done.
Okay.
So I think we'll have to vote on
So
that.
what's the record?
Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by June 5th. Or be
7/3
returned
she
in-
asked for.
What?
7/3, she asked for the July.
Oh, 7/3?
That's what we were.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. Will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by July 3rd, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. So just keep working on it, and then,
Okay.
We're doing our part.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Case number 37, CEB 04-24-56, Lisa A. and Helen Walker, at 444 Fulton. good morning.
You won't sit
State your
down.
name and address for the record and be sworn in, please.
Lisa Walker, 444 Fulton Street, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Kelly Walker, 444 Fulton Street.
Right hand up.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garcia.
Those are old pictures.
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file.
You can actually see my house.
Wait a minute, wait.
This was a field generated and for violations of the overgrown grass and weeds from the property line on both sides and out to the sidewalk. Certified receipt was returned on October 21st, 2023. Compliance due date was on November 1st, 2023. The recite inspection was done just the other day, yesterday, I believe. I spoke to the owner on the property. Staff's recommending we're finding it in non-compliance and asking to give them to July cutoff. Reason being is she's got surgery coming up.
And I just had surgery.
And the other one just had surgery.
Okay. Any questions? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by July 3rd, 2024, be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion. Ms. Roby, second, made by Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Okay, good luck.
Okay, Ma, let's get you to bed.
Good luck.
There are two.
Yeah, there's first picture.
Yeah, okay, you'll get it done. Case number 38, CEB 04-24-53, Peggy Cooper at 615 Roma. Hello, Ms. Cooper.
Hi. Tamika Wilmore, 615 Roma Street.
What is your name then?
Tamika Wilmore.
And do you represent, who's Ms. Cooper?
My grandmother.
Madam Chair, you want to have a sworn before she starts?
Yes, I'm sorry, let's get you sworn in. State your name and address for the record and then,
Tamika Wilmore, 615 Roma Street.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
anyway, all right, let's see. And what is your relationship to Peggy?
My grandmother.
Grandmother, okay. All right, Mr. Garcia, go ahead.
Yeah, this case was field generated for not having a building permit. Mildew, dirt, and grime on the exterior, peeling paint, rotted wood, damaged missing window screens. The certified letter was returned signed on December 16, 2023, with a compliance due date of January 16, 2024. And the last reinspection was done May 6th, or May 7th, finding the property in non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Do you live there?
Yes.
And does your grandmother live there?
No, she's deceased.
She's deceased. Okay. I have one more question for you, Mr. Garcia. What's the building permit would be for? What would the building permit be for?
It's for the top portion, all the exterior that's rotted, and
Okay,
you
for
see where the numbers are, 615, that column is bent, but pretty much any rotted wood that needs to be
Okay.
replaced.
Okay.
They actually, there's some pictures updated where they replaced some, but they didn't get right there. If you zoom in right there, you can see all that's new and it has no permit.
Okay.
And what's your recommendation?
What's your recommendation?
What's your recommendation?
It was next cutoff.
Next cutoff. Are you working on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because all we're here today is to find out, you know,
Yes, I'm working on
what have you done so far?
it. With the replacement of the roof part, what the new wood is on the porch,
Uh-huh.
and I'm trying to get the rotten wood replaced.
Okay. And you know you need permit for that.
Well, when I read the letter again, I found out about the permit.
Okay.
And then I was trying to, get the permit,
Okay.
for which someone told me I need to pay a certain amount of money to get a permit. So I don't know how to go about the permit and stuff.
Well, you know, if you talk to Mr. Garcia, he can walk you through the process, and you can go down to permits and licensing and ask them what you need to do, and you'll find out exactly what you need to do. Just want to make sure that you understand the process. That's why I asked the question of why you needed the building permit.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know whether you were aware of that or not. Okay.
So with all that, won't you need more time?
That's what I'm thinking. If we haven't even applied for a permit yet.
Non-compliant, 60 days.
You can give it
Okay.
a July cutoff.
And I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Harrington and a second from Mr. Gonzalez to order the respondent to come into compliance by July 3rd.
On 31.
July 31st.
It's 90 days, but
What, it is?
yes, the 31st would be.
Well, I'll
Wait, it's
accept
not
it.
next month. That's,
Yeah.
so the month after that is July 3rd, right?
Right.
Right.
That's cutoff date, 2024,
So are we doing 60 days or 90 days?
60. That's what, I thought that's what the motion was.
Well, I was gonna accept her friendly, motion of going to 90 days.
I don't know whether,
I
I'd
thought
like,
she was
I'd like to
supposed-
see what's going on before then. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 7-3.
Okay, so 7-3, that was what the motion and the second was, so all in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. So just, you know, you have to do a permit before you can do much anything else, okay? All right, thank you. Case number 39, CEB 04-24-58. This is a Zoom call. Hello? Good morning.
Good morning, is that me, Edith?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. Okay, thank you.
Would you state your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please?
Sure, Edith Gatson, 526 Cannon Street, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you
Can you
solemnly-
see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm. Thank you.
Okay, Edith, what is your relationship to Leroy and Anthony?
I'm the sister.
Your sister, okay.
Uh-huh.
And you have permission to speak for them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, we'll hear from Mr. Garcia. Go ahead.
Okay, this case was field generated for damaged fence, junk vehicle, and damaged roof. The certified receipt was returned on September 1st, 2023 for compliance due date on October 1st, 2023. Re-inspected yesterday. I met the owner on the property, finding of non-compliance, compliance by what we're going to say the July cutoff. The reason being is she's working with the city on their program. I have an email here, if you want to see it, but basically it's from the rehabilitation, they're on a rehabilitation list, and the repairs for the roof and windows are going to be, and doors, and even plumbing is going to be made through them.
How long have they been on that list?
I don't know how long
have
the
you
list.
been on the list?
Hello?
I'm sorry, are you asking me?
Yeah.
How long? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. It was last year. I have to go through my files. I really don't remember the month and day. I
That's okay.
apologize.
That's all right.
Has the junk
Uh-huh.
vehicle been removed?
Yes.
Okay, so junk vehicle is removed. So we need a permit for the fence and the roof and
No,
No, permit's not needed
Can I
for the
speak?
fence, it's
Oh,
just for the
okay.
roof.
roof.
yes, ma'am. Can I speak?
Yeah, you may.
Okay, is that fence, if you go back one picture, you see to the right it may not be visible, but it's like 3 foot, yeah. Mr. Garcia told me yesterday that that pole, I don't know how it happened, but it's been removed. So I'm gonna have that repaired, so the wire is connected to the pole.
Good.
And that's what I'm in violation for.
Okay, what about the roof also? And that's what you're waiting for help with, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What, do we want to do a 3-month on this?
Yes.
Okay, make a motion?
Can I say something else, or do I wait till you guys finish?
What?
Can I say something else before you motion? Okay, thank you so much. So my question is, with me being on the waiting list, so until our name is called, do I come back and sit at the meetings? Do you know how that
But
works?
that's why we're considering giving you 3 months, so you don't have to come back every month and tell us you're not on the program yet.
Oh, wow. Can you give me 6 months?
No, we don't do that.
Okay. Doesn't hurt to
Generally,
ask.
we don't do that.
Okay.
Not,
Thank you,
not
ma'am.
always. Because we like to keep up and see what's going on.
I
So we'll
understand.
make sure that something's going on, okay?
We have not because we ask not, so I always ask.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so.
Madam Chair, I motion that we accept the city's recommendation.
All right, so Mrs. Himes has made a motion. Is there a second to 3 months? Second, Ms. Roby, to find respondent non-compliance in order to come into compliance by July 31st, to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion
Opposed.
carries.
Okay, is it too late to speak again so I can understand?
Okay, you
No.
can speak again to understand, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. So return July 1 if still in non-compliance, up to $1,000. So with still being on the waiting list, so the way the process works, then I just continue to return, and that's like standard verbiage?
It is
for the-
pretty much, I'm not going to tell you in every case because that's not true in every single case. But generally, if you're on the city rehab list, we give you the time you need with updates.
Okay.
On what's going on, or maybe you're
All
getting
right.
on it or something. So we know what's going on too.
Okey-doke.
And that's also to keep remaining the grass cutting and keeping the property
Right,
secure.
so you have to keep the property up in the meantime. but-
Right. We've been doing that. Okay, I just wanted to be clear. Thank
Madam
you.
Chair, if I may, she said, you told her July 31st is the compliance date. She
Yeah.
said July 3rd, so she.
Oh, no, it's the 31st.
July 31st.
July
Oh, thank you so much. Okay,
That's
I
3 months.
appreciate that.
You did say that. That's okay.
And I want to thank the city of Daytona Beach for the programs they have. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
God bless
good.
you all. Uh-huh.
Okay, good luck.
Okay, thank you. You all too. Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Case 40, and I didn't ask if she lives there. Does anyone live there?
No, it's vacant.
vacant?
Yeah, it's secured. It's.
I just want that for my notes. Thank you. Case 40, CEB 04-24-59, Jimmy and Lola Moore. Mr. and Mrs. Moore. You don't have to, okay, so you're going to be testifying, sir. Okay, state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
The name is Jimmy Moore. Address is 618 Roma Street, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, what can you tell me?
This case was field generated for vehicles parked on the grass. A certified receipt was returned on December 16, 2023. Compliance due date was December 21st, 2023. My last reinspection was yesterday, and finding the property is still in non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Okay, there's still parking on the grass we can see from the picture.
Yes, no longer parking there.
Okay, pause that picture right there. If you zoom in, they removed the vehicles on the front, but if you look to the back, you'll see the vehicles in the backyard.
Yeah.
Those need to be removed for compliance. Once I get those removed, I can close my case.
Okay, Do you know what needs to be done, sir? To come into compliance? Do you understand what needs to be done to come into compliance? You have to move those vehicles, because you can't park on the grass in the city, whether it's front yard, backyard, doesn't matter. That's the rule.
Okay, that wasn't my understanding at
Okay.
first. I thought it was the front yard,
Yeah,
and so I built that pad, you see that
Yep.
pad there?
yeah,
And started parking my car there,
uh-huh,
and then I moved it in the back. However, I parked my car on that plastic pad because I understood that it wasn't supposed to be parked on the grass. And of course, that plastic pad has no grass on it.
right.
Okay. But since that time, I parked my cars on the driveway up front. However, I wasn't aware that you couldn't park them in the back.
Right.
So I started parking one in the back
Right.
and the other on that plastic pad. So my question is, if I pour a concrete driveway on the right side, all the way back to the back, would I be able to park my cars on that driveway without being violating
I
the code?
understand the question you're asking. It is not something that our board can answer, because we don't give advice. I know that you could talk to Mr. Garcia.
I can.
Go ahead.
What you need to do is get with permits and licensing and see what you can get approved for to have your driveway expanded. And whatever they approve is, you can get a permit and do that.
So if I get a permit to have it extended, I can park there?
If yes,
If
but
they allow
yes. In the meantime, the violation is that you can't park on the grass, and
Correct.
that's what we're dealing with here. So, and Mr. Garcia has advised you to go down to permits and licensing and see what you can do. This is a problem throughout the city. It's not that we're not being sensitive to it, but there are a lot of places in the city where there's not enough parking anymore, that was built in a different era and things have changed. But we can't do it, that's not in our wheelhouse to change. We don't change things, this board. We have to go by what the law is now and what is before us. We can't do anything. You can do things. Then what Mr. Garcia has advised you to do is go down to permits and licensing and see what they'll allow. Okay?
And I got a question for
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Garcia. So the pad cannot replace?
Correct. It cannot be there.
Right.
You can't invent a spot.
I just wanted to be clear about that.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, so the pad doesn't work either.
right.
Without a permit, you need a permit to make more driveway or more parking area in your house.
He actually has a long two-car driveway, and he took the vehicles, the ones you see there on the grass.
Yeah.
And he put them in the garage, which was fine, which left them other space. But then I noticed the vehicles in the back.
Right.
I believe it's the van and another vehicle. So once he gets those two in the back out, I can close my case,
Right.
putting them in compliance.
Okay.
All he has to do is put those two in the back and behind the two cars.
Correct.
Right.
Right, okay, do you understand what he just told you? Go ahead.
I understand that I can't park them in the back on the
But you
grass.
can park, if you park them in the front, you can park behind those two cars, you have space there for them. That's what he's saying.
You can park in your garage and on the paved areas.
Right.
Correct.
That's it. If you want to expand it, you go get a permit to have some area paved so that you can park there. But you have to deal with the permits for that. Right now, your problem is solved if you take the two cars in back and put them behind the two cars that are there.
Or in the garage.
Well, he's got cars in the
Well, I have no space in the garage, so.
Oh, that's inconvenient to have to move for somebody, but that gets you out of our purview.
I mean, all we can do is follow what the law says. We
Yeah, I
can't do
understand that.
anything else. You have more control than we do. Really, when you get right down to it, what we can do is put you in compliance if you're in compliance, or you're not in compliance. But we have to follow the city rules
Yeah.
when we consider your case.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Can I talk with you? Can I talk?
Yes, please
you
talk to
later?
her. Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah,
All right.
okay. That's exactly the right thing to do.
Compliance, 30 days.
Yeah.
So moved.
All right, so we have Mr. Harrington making a motion, Ms. Himes the second, to come in, to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. So do stay in touch with him, that's the best thing you can do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, case 41, CEB 04-24-61, Leon and Feeney May Myers.
No, for the record, he was here and he had to leave. He had a breathing treatment or something that he had to do.
Okay.
But this case was field generated for junk vehicle, overgrown landscaping, trash, outside storage, damaged steps, and walkway. The certified letter was returned on September 16, 2023. Compliance due date September 26, 2023. And the last inspection was yesterday. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. They did remove the vehicle, and they cut the grass. They removed the damaged sidewalk. They tried to repair it, but then they wind up removing it. And yesterday when I was there, I found another vehicle on the side of the house now and told them that they had to remove that. And all the debris, they said they're gonna remove. I'm in contact with the owner that was here and the daughter.
Okay,
Non-compliance, 30 days.
Second.
all right, Mr. Harrington made a motion, Mr. Gonzalez made the second to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right. Case 42. We're getting there.
42 seems to be strictly a rental license.
Yes, it is.
All right, the rental is a person here, Johnny A. and Tony D. Stewart. Okay, maybe we can bring a microphone? I mean, do you need somebody to bring a microphone to you?
Yeah, hold on.
There's nowhere to sit up here, though. Oh, okay.
We have a carry microphone, one of those you can move around.
One's on the way.
No, should be at the
No,
back.
this will be, it's up here already.
There you go.
You can use this one, whichever you want. You can sit it.
Was this complaint driven?
This is field generated. It was a sweep we did in the area, so it was one of the properties I had left from the area. It actually had other violations on the property, which was there were vehicles on the property.
That's what I wanted.
I don't believe you actually called the case.
I have not, we have not done the swearing in yet. All right, state your name and address for the record, please.
What I meant, Madam Chairman,
Oh.
I don't think you said the case name or anything else.
Oh, I don't think I have, you're right. This is case 42, CEB 05-24-75, Johnny A. and Tony D. Stewart at 954 Bryant Street. Okay, so state your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please.
My name is Tony Davis Stewart, and I live at 905 Laura Street, Daytona Beach,
You
Florida.
live at 905,
Laura Street,
905 Laura.
Daytona Beach.
Uh-huh. Okay, we're gonna, this is whether you're in compliance or not in compliance, that's it. Go ahead, Mr.
So this,
Garcia.
this case was
Wait,
field
I
generated.
haven't sworn
Oh,
her
I'm
yet.
sorry, she needs to be sworn in.
Oh.
Boy, we're
I was
getting-
wondering if the other person was gonna
Okay.
say something. She sat down.
Is the other person speaking at all?
No, she's with me,
Okay,
taking care of me.
Okay. Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
all right, Mr. Garcia.
Okay, so this case was field generated for no rental license. Certified letter was returned on October 30th, 2023. Compliance due date was on November 10th, 2023. And reinspection was done on April 29th, 2024, finding the property in non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. I've spoken to the tenant several times on the property. I gave him my information, my card. I had him, told him to contact the owner and let him know what they needed to do. It's the first time I've spoken to the owner, so I explained to her what she has to do.
Yes, this is the first time I got any information about this.
Okay. But you know, do you feel like you have the information now that you need to, so that you can move forward with this and get your license? Who lives there now? How many, are we talking about?
Only one person.
It's just one person that lives there.
One person, it's a single, it's a house that's rented out, you're renting to someone.
Yes,
Okay. In order to do that, you have to have a rental license. You understand that now?
yes, I do.
Have
My
you
husband,
applied for it?
no, I just found out today what I
Oh,
need to
okay.
do and where to go.
Okay, good.
So I will be doing that.
Good. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance and a respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to
June the 5th.
$1,000 per day. That's a
June the
motion.
5th?
Ms. Marsh, second? Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Okay, so now you know what to do. That's what you need to do. And stay
Okay.
in touch with Mr. Garcia. That's what you
Okay.
can do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for coming. All right, case number 43, CEB 05-24-76, Henry Floyd Daughtry. Okay, come on up.
I'm coming out, child.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, please state your name and address for the record.
I am Keisha Anthony, Daughtry Anthony, 1640 Stocking Street, Daytona Beach, Florida, and Henry Daughtry.
Well, he can state his name. Are you going to be speaking for him or?
Ma'am, he has hard of hearing.
Okay, okay. So what is your relationship?
I'm his daughter.
Okay. Will he be wanting to say anything at all or no?
Did you want to say anything, Dad?
No.
No, okay.
You raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Garcia now.
Yeah, this case was field generated for outside storage, overgrown landscaping, sanitation, trash, debris, unpainted surfaces, and a damaged roof. The property was posted on October 31st, 2023. Compliance due date December 1st, 2023. And last re-inspected on May 6, 2024. Staff's finding the property in non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Has there been anything done?
No, nothing, no progress, no contact. Actually, someone from the city, I believe, posted it for condemnation.
Is this where Mr. Daughtry lives?
No, he lives with me now.
So does anyone live on that property?
No one is living in that property. We have been dealing with the city since 2019 with the roofing. So I've been dealing with Bill Oringer, and then he gave me a Yolanda Presley. I've been dealing with the city since 2019, pre-COVID, for the housing roofing program. So he has been on the list since.
So he's on the list. Do you have verification? We need
This is the first
verification
time
of
I've
that.
seen them or talked to anyone about the property.
I've spoken to you a couple of times. I actually went down to the permit people when we got the letter of condemning the house, and I went down to the permit, and then the lady I spoke with said, "Oh, I'll get back with you," and then she gave us $7,000 to knock the house down from January to July. She said we had to pay the city $7,000. Who's ever down in the.
Yeah, well, we
permit
don't,
people.
okay.
Well, I'm gonna ask you one thing. I wanna ask you a question. Okay, the house in my name.
They're not, wait, they're not gonna, because you didn't raise your hand.
No, I just wanna talk about the deed.
All right, stop. He owns the house, he's allowed to speak.
But he wasn't sworn in.
Mr. Daughtry?
You weren't sworn in. All right, let's be sworn in.
Mr. Daughtry?
Speak.
Sir, Dad, she's talking to you, Dad. She's talking to you.
Can you raise your right hand?
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes? Thank you.
All right, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, I say it's in my name, but I never, well, who got the deed? I mean, who got the deed?
But now, let him speak.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about your deed.
Okay.
Talk about your deeds, talk about your deeds.
Okay.
No, do.
All you need to address, let me tell you this, all you need to address right now, or all we're seeking to do right this minute, is to see whether the house is in compliance or non-compliance. That's it. If it's not in compliance, that's all we're ruling on right now. Has anything been done, Mr. Garcia?
No, not since I had the case.
Okay. What is going on downstairs with permits and licensing, or anyone else you've spoken to, we don't have any control over. You will have to deal with that. You have more control over that than we do. We don't have control over that. We don't change those rules. We don't make those rules. We are expected to follow the law when we make our judgments. That's all we can do.
So with that being said, okay, I've been with Bill Oringer. I've been speaking with him,
Okay.
calling him every month.
Uh-huh.
He passed it over to Miss Presley. I've never spoken to Miss Presley.
Okay.
We've even came in here a couple of times to speak.
Are you on the city rehab list?
Since 2019.
Well, what I need is a copy of something. What you need to give to Mr. Garcia is a copy of that,
Okay,
that says you are accepted into the program.
okay.
Yes?
That's correct. I need something.
You need something. You can't ignore it because,
We haven't been ignoring, we've
Okay.
been calling here.
Yeah,
Leaving
okay,
messages, leaving
okay.
messages, leaving
All right,
messages.
stay in touch with Mr. Garcia.
Okay.
Get something that says you're on the rehab
That's
list.
when I called, when we got the.
But you're not in compliance, right? As of right now, the only thing we're doing is going to rule on whether you're in compliance or you're not in compliance, and you're not in
Because we were told to
compliance.
stop when he went to do the cleanup on his own, we were told to not do
I
anything.
can't help that. That is
Okay.
not, I don't know who told you that. I don't
Okay.
have any control over that. It's not cleaned up. Normally, that doesn't take a permit to get the property cleaned up, normally. But I don't know, I'm not,
For the tearing of the condemned house, and they told us, don't do anything else since it had been condemned. Because we were doing the cleanup.
That's the second time we've heard this. Prior, I've heard that before. So it doesn't concern us in this case.
Right.
Now, well, let's just find non-compliant.
okay, I agree. All right, we're going to call the
I
question.
want us to stay in touch with Mr. Garcia. He'll
Okay.
instruct you on it.
Okay.
All right.
Madam Chair, if I can just say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You have two situations going on. It sounds like, yeah, Ms. Yolanda is part of the program.
Yes.
So you're working with the program, but you need to
And
make
then this
sure
came
for
in.
everything that's going on in this body that you're contacting and keeping up with Mr. Garcia. So make sure you talk with him. He'll make sure that, verify the things that's going on.
Okay.
And, he'll be able to explain if there's something different than what we're understanding right now.
Okay.
May I interject something? Get a file box, and every time you visit somebody, and every piece of paper, put it in there, so that when you come here, you're not telling us, I talked to, they talked to, because that doesn't mean, that's not evidence. So if you want us to respond in a positive way, you give it to your officer, and you keep that record when you come here, and then we'll be able to follow you. Right now, we can't follow you at all.
Okay.
All right, so. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned, which is June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Marsh. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. So just talk to him. He'll help you. All right, I just want to make a note that Mr. Mahegan is no longer here. So there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us voting now.
Passed on?
Hmm?
Passed on?
No.
Oh, he
Left. He had to leave at noon time. I don't know whether he was here for the last vote. I didn't see him leave. But he did tell me he was leaving at noon. Case number 44, CEB 05-24-77, Daniel I. and Jennifer Petrie.
They not here, I guess.
I'm sorry, I thought those people were coming up here. All right, never mind. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
This case was field generated for working without a building permit for the siding and soffit. First notice was posted on October 20th, 2023. Compliance due date was November 1st, 2023. Site inspection was done on April 22nd, 2024. Actually, I was there yesterday. The staff's recommending of finding the property non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date 6/5 or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion? Mr. Harrington, second, who?
Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 45, CEB 05-24-78, Sondora Davis in Kensell, Washington. Are you coming for this case, ma'am? Yes. Okay, thank you. Please state your name and address.
349 Wilson Avenue, Daytona Beach. And I'm Angela Daughter, the mother of Sandora.
What is your name?
Angela Dari.
And you're the mother of Kensell?
Sandora and Kensell.
Kensell. Okay, Kensell.
Your last name was Darby?
Darby, yes.
Okay. And you have permission from your son to speak?
Yes, it's a family-owned house, you know.
She's the mother of Sandora. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you're the mother of?
Sandora, yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Will you raise your right hand, ma'am? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Garcia.
This case was developed from a citizen complaint for outside storage, overgrown landscaping, boat and trailer in front of the yard, unpermitted structure, sanitation, trash, debris, stains on the exterior surface, missing fascia, and damaged soffit. The certified letter was returned on October 23, 2023. Compliance due date November 23, 2023, and last reinspection on May 6, 2024. Staff recommending and finding it in non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
All right, can I speak?
I can't, we're not seeing the picture. Okay, here we go. Do you live there?
Yes, off and on. My mother, she was sick for the last 4 months. She was fighting for her life, you know. She caught COVID, and I was with her, and the only back and forth. So when we did get this compliance, and Mr. Garcia said it was his supervisor, you know, we was in and out fighting. My mother been in 3 hospitals. Thank God she lived and made it through 2 rehab, and was gave the wrong medicine, almost killed her twice, not once. So we went through a lot with the family. So I talked to Mr. Garcia today, and the guy who I said was his supervisor, like, and I understand that he have more clients to deal with, but we in good terms, and we gonna take care of this.
Good.
My mom, she made it, thank God, you know, okay?
So who's your mom?
My mom's is not on here, you know, but I was back and forth.
Who owns the property?
Sandor.
Sandor. And she is who?
My
You're her
daughter.
mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who's Kenzel?
That's her husband.
That's her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
There was
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm sorry, there we go. There was problems in getting the pictures in for some reason, but I see he's got some.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're going to, and who actually lives there?
I live there, and some of the other family members, my uncle lived there. He's in his, 80s and stuff. But we did everything when we got the things. And I told Mr. Garcia, they spoke with somebody. He said it wasn't him, it was his supervisor. But everything is taken care of. And I will
good.
be
So
in
you
compliance
stay in touch with Mr. Garcia.
And it will be over,
Good,
So.
that would be wonderful.
And I thank everybody.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody in here, Thank God we here.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. Such a
So
motion?
moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Second?
Mm-hmm.
Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. So
All
just
right.
stay in touch.
I will.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Okay. Thank you for coming. Then Ms. Himes. Okay, case number we're almost there. Case number 46, CEB 05-24-79 Cornelius Wesley at 6:30. Mr. Wesley here? No, go ahead.
This case was field generated for overgrown landscaping, dirt and grime on the exterior, damaged fence, damaged gate, no address numbers, overgrown abutment, and no rental license. Their certified letter was returned on February 26, 2024. Compliance due date March 26, 2024, and my reinspection was on May 6, 2024. Staff's recommending and finding a non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Is it occupied?
Not that I've seen. I don't know. I haven't had contact with anybody.
Okay.
I've had to post my notice.
No contact, nothing, okay.
Non-compliance, 30 days.
Second.
All right, Mr. Harrington's made a motion, Mr. Gonzalez a second. Find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 6/5, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Case number 47, CEB 05-24-81, Moselle Hendley Estate.
Wesley, did you call for a vote?
Did we vote on that?
No.
I don't know that we voted.
No, we didn't vote.
I don't think
The
we
motion
voted.
was
So all in
made.
favor say aye. Of the previous motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Now we're on case number 47, CEB 05-24-81 Moselle Hendley Estate. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Hansel Johnson. I live at 318 North Keats Street.
You want to be sworn in, please?
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Garcia.
Can we ask what Mr. Johnson's relationship?
True. What is your relationship to the Mosel Hendley estate?
Moser Henley is my mother. She passed away about 12, 14 years ago.
Okay, so now
I live there.
so are you part, and the estate is in your name and someone else's, or what?
Well, I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Are they all named in that too?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Actually, I don't know if any of them's named, I don't think they probated.
Has this been,
Still,
this is still in probate?
I don't know.
Probably has never been probated.
Has it ever been probated? You don't know?
I don't know.
The property appraiser, when someone passes, if there's no probate, even though there's no probate, they will just list the estate of the deceased as the property owner.
and that is how it's listed here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't need to be probated
Oh, yeah, it does.
necessarily? Oh, it
It's
does,
just-
okay.
It's just,
Yeah,
to,
saying it's her estate that
yeah,
owns it.
even though the estate hasn't been started, that's how the property appraiser looks at it.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
This case was received as a citizen complaint for outside storage, no permit for the rear structure, faded paint and dirt on the exterior surface. The certified receipt notice was posted on February 20th, 2024 for compliance due date on March 1st, 2024. Reinspection was done on May 6, 2024 for finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. And I've had contact with, spoken to him on the property before.
Are you the only one that lives there?
No, I have a bedridden sister that lived there also.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's not in compliance. Got to get it into compliance, but first, doesn't it have to be, can he do that?
He may be able to, I don't know enough of the circumstances, it just depends. The only issue that repeatedly comes up for this board is someone who has to pull permits, but
That's what I
sometimes the way
mean.
you avoid permits is by doing something different. So it just depends on how he's gonna ultimately remedy the case. In this situation, we're indicating a permit for a rear structure, I'm not sure what that.
Well, basically, they built something in the back, which I spoke to him, and he said they removed it. So
Okay.
that would put that part in compliance.
Okay.
Outside storage is all in the rear. Once they get rid of that stuff,
Okay.
that would put that in compliance.
Okay.
Dirt and grime is on the north side of the building, which is very minor. It's on the bottom. They can pressure clean it, wash it off, whatever, and once they get that done,
Okay.
that would take care of that. So he's pretty much
Okay.
halfway. I mean, he can do
All
it
right.
himself.
Okay. You can do it yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, June 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000. Such a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Gonzalez, the motion. Second, Ms. Ruby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, so just stick with Mr. Garcia, and he'll tell you what you need to do when you think you're in compliance, or part of it's in compliance, whatever it is. Call him and tell him, and he'll set up something for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
You too. All right, case number 48, CEB 0524-84, DBFV Partner Holdings LLC. And do we have an address to show where they're listed? Where their office is? And in the meantime, Mr. Garcia, go ahead.
This case was field generated for outside storage, dirt and grime, damaged fence, wood rot, no address numbers, and no rental license. The certified letter was returned on November 18, 2023. Compliance due date was December 18, 2023. Last reinspection was on May the 6th, 2024. Staff recommends the finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Any contact, Danny?
For this one, no, I have not.
Non-compliance.
Are they renting it out right now?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people there.
It's being rented. I don't know how many people are in there.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, the style shows the address and that of the
Yes.
corporation, that is the one that's listed in the.
Right.
Division of Corporations as well, which is 1440 Northwest 112th Way, Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Uh-huh.
Corporation. And then
Okay.
we do have and even the registered agent is also in Pembroke Pines.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. All right, make motion, please.
He made the motion and I second it.
Okay, a motion from Ms. Roby, a second from Ms. Himes to find the respondent in noncompliance and or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 6/5, and be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 49. How'd you get so lucky to get all these cases?
I have no idea.
Okay, case 49, CEB 05-24-85, Eclipse Asset Management, Inc.
This case was field generated for overgrown landscaping, damaged fence, and no address numbers. The certified letter was posted on February 21st, 2024. The compliance due date was March 6, 2024, and my last reinspection was on May 6, 2024. Staff recommends defining a non-compliance compliance by next cutoff.
Any contact?
No contact. I've
Does
left.
does somebody live there?
No. Well, I haven't seen anybody, no movement. There's a for sale sign on the property. There's a key box on the doorknob. I've posted all my notices and courtesy notices, and there's this car sitting there with a flat.
Are the tags good on it?
No, they're expired, actually. Yeah, that should have been something put on there, but.
Where's Eclipse Management? Do we know where they're located, where their address is?
Yes, Madam Chair, they're showing a print on their public record as far as the Division of Corporations. They're showing a principal address in Daytona Beach.
Okay.
629 Cedar Park Drive.
Okay.
Daytona Beach, which is also the address for their registered.
Okay, thank you very much. But as far as you know, that no one's in there?
Yes, there's no movement
Okay.
at all.
No,
It looked
okay.
empty, and I haven't seen anybody.
But they do have a Georgia mailing address.
And then notices were sent to both places.
Okay, and notices were sent to both places? Okay, good.
Non-compliance, 30 days.
Second.
All right, motion from Mr. Harrington, a second from Mr. Gonzalez to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, June 5th. Be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. We only have two more cases. Okay. Case 50, CEB 0524-86. Hugh Trang and Ann Wagen. I don't know how you say that. What is a Nugent?
Nguyen.
Win. That's what I thought. Yeah. That's what
This
it-
case actually, it was brought to my attention that the permit was pulled, and it was finalized on April 23rd, 2024, so it's in compliance.
All right.
We can put that date.
All right, one more case. Case number 51, CEB 05-24-87, John and Marilyn Dunbar. Oh, sorry, sir, you had to wait till the bitter end.
Good afternoon.
Good morning to both of you.
Good
State your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please.
161 Holland with 5111 South Washington Street, Almond Beach, Florida.
So you're from, and what are you state your name, sir?
John Dunbar.
You're John, and
I'm Marilyn Dunbar, 111 South Washington Street, Ormond Beach.
so you're both from Ormond, okay. go ahead and get sworn in.
Will you both raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garcia, what can you tell us?
This was a citizen's complaint for broken windows, peeling paint, dirt and grime, no address numbers. The notice was posted on February 19, 2024. The compliance due date was March 19, 2024. And my last reinspection was on May 6, 2024. Staff recommends the finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. There was some work done on this property. We're still missing the numbers, the address numbers on the front, and we just need they pull permits, but we need them to get finalized once it's completed.
You need what?
Permits, building permits.
Oh, permit.
Yeah, they've made some repairs and on the front
For
and the
the
back.
window, okay. You where you need permits?
Well, we did receive permits for the windows and the roofing. They were pulled and everything's been finished. And they said it was done.
Well, they,
Inspector indicated they just need to be final.
okay, so they need to be finalized, but that,
Correct.
so how long do you think that will take? I mean, that's that,
They just have to call it in saying that they need a final, and then they'll usually, if they do it early, they'll usually do it that day. They may do it the following day.
What the
So
inspector
you-
came out and finalized it.
Okay, so I just need to see if they're final then. I just need to see in the computer. If they did.
he
then-
has to look and see if it's in the computer.
Yeah.
Please stay in touch with him, that'll be the
Right.
quickest way. So, because we don't have all that information, we're not gonna find you, probably not gonna find you in compliance, but give you time to do that and make sure it's all
Okay.
done, okay?
Okay.
Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by June 5th or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
Second.
Mr. Harrington, motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carried. Meeting adjourned.